But a heartbreak is one of the worst things you could up and feel inside.
This is for my young people. Big Bill, Picasso. I used to sell crack in the trap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedules collect dust in the shelf. I go in my cocoon and reinvent myself.
I used to watch your back, to pull out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Greedy and need, but I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed. The next generation.
I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectation. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights. This is dedicated.
Finally, I can see, I can breathe, I believe. I was angry, alone, unhappy and cold, dragging my soul, agony rolls.
My mind's ahead of y'all, I perceive a future and ask for this gift. I see all these spirits every time that I look in the sky. And all the intervention in front of my eyes, for real.
I would swallow my problems, roll in the haze, smoke them away, hoping today would just go away. Holding my faith, no I won't let go till you open the gates.
This is for the youngsters. In the beginning of the future, you ain't gotta be a thug or a hustler. I leave an invitation so you can enter with me into the nation. I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on with it. I'm living my expectation. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights.
Purchase your track today.
This is for my young people. Big Bill, Picasso. I used to sell crack in the trap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedule collect dust in the show. I go in my cocoon and reinvent
I
myself.
used to watch your back, to pull out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Greedy in need, but I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed. The next generation.
I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high.
Purchase your
We keep on with it. I'm living my expectation. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights. This is dedicated.
Finally, I can see, I can breathe, I believe. I was angry alone, unhappy and cold, dragging my soul as the agony rolls.
My mind's ahead of y'all, I perceive a future and ask for this gift. I see all these spirits every time that I look in the sky, and holy intervention in front of my eyes, for
I
real.
would swallow my problems, roll in the haze, smoke them away, hoping today would just go away. Holding my faith, no, I won't let go till you open the
This is
gates.
for the youngsters. In the beginning of the future, you ain't gotta be a thug or a hustler. I leave an invitation so you can enter with me into the nation. I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high.
purchase your
We keep on with it. I'm living my expectation. This is my presentation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. To the next generation. I'm extraordinary, yeah, so ordinary. I live my life to the fullest. Why they wanna take it from me? I feel those dark and lonely nights.
purchase your track
Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Microphone check. Okay. Hear me in this one. I don't know why.
That's what still get when no one you see.
Yeah, but how come it works for the cell phone?
You know what I'm saying? It's weird.
I don't know. I don't get it.
But I know these chairs is fucked up.
Yeah, that's probably.
I will have to go get another one.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Good afternoon, everyone. We were doing some mic check with our brother here, Big Bill, and producer, writer of Next Generation. A young brother, he's going through his thing. You see, with the health thing, getting himself back, like we always say. But he's here, fighting it through and doing his thing, and shout out to him. You see, and all those who have worked on that song with him. You see. So the thing is, like, it's a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and pretty sunny and wonderful. You see, could have been anywhere, but just decided to be here with you guys because nothing else worth it but us. You see, so that's what it is. For everyone who was listening to our last live last time, episode 8 or something like that, you already know where we at and things like this, and we try to keep everything connected. Once one ended, the next one is gonna be an offshoot of the new. You see, so that we don't lose ourselves, because everything we do, when you are mature, is all even trying to be mature. It's all connected. It's gonna be all connected and all relevant. You see, and there's a young writer yesterday that posted something on Facebook about releasing his third book or something like that. Yeah, it was how we do. Us artists, writers, we are the worst critics against our own selves. And he was saying that the book, you see, is full of words and stuff like that, making fun of his own art, you see, which is wonderful. But at the same time, I had to share with them, because sometimes when we have these feelings, we need, the boost, you see, of energy by someone telling us truly how they feel about the art or something like that. Yet, I have not read his book or something, but I know words are powerful. So long as you take the time to write the book, of course you have something to say. And whatever your spirit is forcing you to be saying, it's gonna be relevant to someone. Someone out there need it. You see what I mean? That's why it don't matter what it is, just do your job, and that's all there is to it. And then, yes, we can, belittle ourselves and look down on our own creation and things like this. But in reality, it's all gonna be how we can affect someone else. See, that's all that that's it's gonna end up being. And that's why I had to tell him, words are powerful, you see. And most of the time, people that will come and judge the book that way, or a lot of words, whatever, blah, 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 and then put down or something, it's because they may be looking for answers and how to do and how to live, without having to do the work themselves. They just read it like it's mostly done in religion and stuff like this. But they don't want to really, they want to be told what to do. You see, they want to read a book that tell them do number 2, number 1, number 3, number 4 steps and whatever, and baby step things. You see, but now is not the time for that. And I told them an example of that is the Book of the Dead, where you can read it. Even the Book of the Dead or the Quran itself is a book like that. Every time you read it, you get something different. And for every steps you are on your path in your evolution, you get a new understanding of the same book you read. Even the Bible, many people used to take it literally, which is why many people now are cursing it. And but the more they evolve, the more they go back to it, because it's opening new gates into their minds, and then they are having new and better understanding or something like that. Because it's not really what you're reading, and it's how a book, a true author is supposed to help you read yourself. You see, it's not telling you what to see, but helping you see for yourself. You see, that's what it is. That's why if someone is not mature, you may read. It's just like watching a movie. Some children will watch The Matrix and then enjoy it for the fights, the jumping around and the bullets escaping and whatever it has to offer of actions and stuff like that. And yet some may be watching and then see a whole different level of picture. And so is it the same movie that we are watching or not? Yes, it is the same movie, but it all depends on who's watching, you see, and their levels of understanding and the essence and stuff like that. So this is what an artist gotta be, and you don't have to be questioning yourself. So that you already put together the work and then giving it to your word, which is your greatest calling. Because as you are here, you are unique in your own self. You see what I mean? So the best you can do is to share with the world that piece of uniqueness. You see, and whatever message that is, and whatever art piece you put it through, or whatever you express it through, or something like that, and it shall be appreciated by those on the level to appreciate it. You see, and many people may appreciate it on different levels. You see, that's why you see Hollywood would put action, yet behind the action there is wisdom. You see what I mean? And then beyond, it's like appealing to different levels of mindsets. You see what I mean? But that's even my book myself. It's like you may just, if you're not someone who has done the work, who have been out there, been through hell and coming out, or have been out, or whatever it is, it may not make much sense to you, because it's gonna seem like a bunch of words, just like the Bible and the Quran and the Book of the Dead. You know, I mean, to some, yet some people just cannot get enough of it. They will read it over and over and over and over. That's what makes it so appealing to the soul and the spirit reading it. It's what, the power behind the intention of the book, not the words themselves, but the intent behind the words. You see what I'm saying? They can't help but seeing that. You see, and then once they come in as a child to the book, like without no judgment and whatever, then the book may open itself to them. You see, because the way you come to this type of books is not just coming to get knowledge, but it's coming to face yourself, coming to understand yourself. It's like, because my art, the type of art that I try to offer to my world, is not trying to take your attention away from yourself, instead giving you space to go within yourself. You see, whether in music, that's why in my music I'm still evolving on that. Because every time I want to use words, yet I'm like, okay, if I'm using words, then I'm telling people something, and then they're focusing on the words, not on their own words. But if I just give them straight music, sounds and vibration and stuff like this, then they can take that music and then go within their own selves and stuff, like by meditating and listening, without having the mind to go around and trying to keep up with the words and with the understandings and this and that. You see what I mean? That's the thing, and this is why most people may not understand the artists that are not realistic artists on a canvas or something like this. You see, but the thing is, you want an art not to know what it is. Like, okay, oh, that's a female, or that's a male, that's a horse, that's a this. But you put something, you put it in an art form where, you see, they will have. They're not looking at your art and just being in awe of your art, but they looking at themselves through your art. You see what I'm saying? Something like this. You see, I don't know if I'm making much sense or something. You see? So that's what it is. Because that's why most of the time too, it's always, you always take two, not most of the time, you always take two to make the difference. So not only you come with the art like this, but the people who come to enjoy it too have to come with that state of mind as well. Not to be told, but to understand what they're looking at through their own lenses. You see, allow them to go within their own mind. Because we can keep going out chasing other things. You see, when we have a self that is so great and we can never be unless we truly understand ourselves. So most of the things that we entertain have to give us that space, you see, to go within self. You see what I mean? So this is why I don't close myself to any form of music. I don't care if it's in Arabic, if it's in Italian, if it's in French, if it's languages I know, languages I don't know, I will listen to it. Because if I know the language, that's why most of the time I may not even remember the name of the artist or the lyrics or something like this. Why? Because I'm just feeling the artist through his music or her music. You see what I mean? I'm too lost within the spirit more than I am on the surface words and stuff like that. You see what I mean? I may not remember the words, but I will literally, of course, definitely remember, you know, the vibration and how the song made me feel and what it made me realize or something like that. But this is just a parenthesis to say, you know, welcome to you. And shout out to all the young writers and all the young artists out there, you see, doing their things. You see, it's a new world, so it's time to, you know, open that mind up, you see. I don't care what you have to do, if you have to go take that trip with the ayahuasca, whatever, you know, but just open these channels, because if your mind is not open in these days and time, you're really in for a surprise, because there's no room for mediocrity anymore. Right now, it's literally, you see, you know, be your best. And that best does not mean, you know, depending on anything, because you are everything. That's what this space is about. Since it's not about chasing anything anymore, right now we are what we are, you see. And if you are valuable, then that value will show one way or another. And you see what I mean? And as value always show, but sometimes, you know, value doesn't show because it's not valuable, but it's because people don't know their own value, therefore they may not see value in what they're looking at, because it's always a mirror effect to things. So that's why the best thing is to educate, you know, educate one another, you see, teach one another, you see what I mean? And so that we may help each other see value within ourselves, so that when value is presented, we may be able to return the favor and allowing the energy to continue and grow and things like that. You see what I mean? But you see, you can come as powerful as you are, whatever. But if, you know, there's not, like, as the giver, if the receiver is not as powerful, then there's gonna be some sort of whatever, you know, I mean, like misuse or waste of energy somehow. You see, that's why it's important to not run with it, because the ego is always running with things, because it's living in fear. It's afraid of time. It's afraid of this, afraid of that, afraid of losing. So much fear within the self. Yet this is why, you know, the great teachers such as Baba Muji or Muji Baba and Sadhguru and all the great ones, you see, that are still with us, fortunately, and those, unfortunately, that are no longer with us, such as the great philosophers like Alan Watts and Menli and all of those, you see, you know, like all of them, you see, that you know, literally give us the keys to the future and stuff like this, and how to change that mindset if we seek to change our world. That's why we say the danger really is presented is that the folks, you know, that used to do the ills or the misuse of their energies long time ago due to their level of consciousness and understanding. So now they are evolving and coming to the truth of things, like how life works, how connected we all are, separation is an illusion, and all these stupidities and stuff like that. So now about the people who saw them as successful and wanted to copy in their footsteps. Now, those that are evolving, coming to the truth, are no longer the problem. It is those that wanted to be like them. You see, like, oh, look, they have all the money, they have this, they look at their lifestyles and whatever. You see, because they are looking at the surface, what they're driving, where they live, but they don't know what's going on in their hearts and how much pain they have, having had to live this way, and even what they have cannot really make up for the time lost and the energy wasted on things that they thought mattered but really do not. You see what I mean? So this is now, that's why it's so important. Even them, see, they come like Bruce Lipton and Alan Watts and all those, who have been out there in the rat race chasing the dollar or chasing success or whatever the game is about or whatever it is. And then, they felt the need to come and then undo their mistakes and stuff like this by teaching a better way of being. You see, and this is that teaching now. If anyone was paying attention to these great leaders' words, now is the time to put these things into application if you really want to be relevant. Otherwise, in reality, you see, the plan, whatever you call it, King Alfred, this and that, Rex 83, whatever you call it, you see what I mean? They have to unfold because nothing happens by mistake. It's either we handle it or it's gonna be handled on its own, you see. So that's what it is, you see what I mean? But the main thing is that we don't get rid of what we shouldn't, and this is why I always call for the key potion or the key ingredients, which is compassion. And with compassion, it's not about loving what you shouldn't love or whatever. It's not choosing to love anything, just like the sun doesn't choose to shine on certain things. Except if you were up in the shadow or something, it's not because the sun chooses to put you in the shadow. It's because of your space and circumstance or whatever. It's the shadow, it's in the shadow, but the sun is open and giving to all that is presented to it. And even when you're in the shadow, you still get to see the light anyway. You may not be affected or somehow directly, but indirectly, just through the view itself, you can see, you see, and enjoy. You see what I mean? So that's the way it is. It's just it's a new thing. We just, that's why we say everything we do ourselves, because we have to live by example, right? So everything we do is a testimony to the teachings of those great people, you see. That's why me, myself, I didn't go first for the bag or whatever. I know, because the bag is part of the game. That's why I always feel the need to explain myself, you see. But the thing is, like, the bag is the game, and I love the game, and we're all playing the game, so we just make life about something. But it's just a very minimal part of the game, you see. So yet, minimal, for someone like us, what is minimal to us is a great deal. To the point where if we lose ourselves and don't forget who we are, then that minimal may become the maximum. You see what I'm saying? But which will be a mistake in itself, but something that can teach us a lesson. Because we have nothing but time. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, I didn't go for the bag. Like, more day by day, you may understand. First, because you are the bag. So of course, so long as you bring the value to yourself first, your self-understanding and knowing and of yourself and your environment and world, then of course, whatever that bag was become 10 times or 10,000 times more expensive and more valuable, you see what I mean? Because there is substance behind that bag or something like that. Why? Because, and then another reason why we didn't go first for the bag, and I'm telling those, who always, follow us and they want to know, like, okay, with all this and that, what should be turned to that or whatever, you see, the ego minds worry about and stuff like that. So what it is, this is why we seek to tell the reason behind the actions and stuff, because action is nothing without intention, you see. So since we know the bag has no choice, the bag wants us more than we want the bag and stuff like this, so we can sacrifice the time to chase the bag. Instead we chase ourselves and then we become the bag, you see what I'm saying? So what it is, it's like a now, except that, you can look for different channels to how you call that, to transform or liquidate whatever is within that bag to different forms of energies and stuff like this. So the thing is, somehow it's imagine now we want people to understand that it's not about money doesn't make the man. So how would we be able to do that? Like every great man, every great leaders always teach that same thing. Yet the people don't want to trust that because they see you with all this wealth, with all this, and you're telling them something like this. So are you trying to pacify them, making them believe something so that you can get more for yourself? That's what they're gonna really take. You see what I mean? And this is why we did. So because we trust the words of those who have money already. You see, not those that are chasing it. Because those who already have it, they have no need to lie to you. They don't. You see what I mean? Because what do they have to lose in reality? You see what I mean? So, but at the same time, we understand both sides. We understand side of those that are chasing to be like those who have. So this is why we have to be in the middle. You see what I mean? We have to be in the middle, where we don't look to make ourselves look too expensive and too good, whatever, so that when we say it, then it can be like, okay, maybe it's true. They would say maybe it's true, and then they will trust it the minute that we start showing them the value in who we are. You see what I mean? And how we can turn ourselves to anything else. Just like gold in itself. Whatever country you take gold is the value, you see, because of what you can do with gold and the level of currency that can come through it and stuff like this. So now I go to any economy or country, I can sell my gold to whatever form of currency that is in that country. You see what I mean? So this is why we seek to be the alchemists, to transform ourselves, into the gold, from or something like this, so that whoever here may find value in our words. You see what I mean? Just like gold get value anyway it goes. You see what I'm saying? So, but I know you have to finish that process. So that means I've proven to them that people will hear you. People will need to hear you. It doesn't matter about your bag or what the numbers are in your bank account, whatever. So long as you have something valuable to say, whoever has value within themselves will connect to the value that's coming from you. You see, because they have no choice. It's just the way it works. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it is. You feel me? So, but we know it's not easy to walk that path. You see, but there's no purpose in life except what we make it to be. If we come in life and we see something missing, with this compassion is missing in the human being, where the human being is literally from, it comes from the heart, live in the heart. So to be far removed from compassion is to be far removed from self. And when we are removed from self, and this is why we start chasing outside of ourselves, and thereby becoming the fool who has it all from within itself, from the get-go, yet thought that it was empty, and take itself, which is the everything, and then go chasing something outside, and to find out that nothing ever found. You see what I mean? And then, time wasted, but not fully wasted. That's the beauty of this life, because the lesson you get to returning to self and find the value within self is literally the bag it's in itself. You see what I mean? But it may take us as long as possible. But of course, we know it's something that it's achievable. Why? Because it's the truth. You see what I mean? Everything else besides the truth is only an illusion. Whatever we think we are, we're not valuable. If you see what I mean, we think we're not valuable without something created a few years ago, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's what we're taking, and that's the danger of the mind. Whatever we think become. You see what I mean? So, but in reality, the truth is that we are the value, the creator of money. You see what I mean? Not the other way around. So that's why. But we're just gonna continue to fight for ourselves, fight for our peoples and things like this. You know what I mean? Until they recognize who they are, because we cannot really move on to a better world, taking care of billions of people on this planet who are made to be very dependent, which is not a wrong or bad or whatever, because this, there's a hierarchy in nature, you see, where there are those that come to serve. We all come to serve. That's the meaning, basic. but different types of service. You see what I mean? Some come to serve. The best I can put it is like you see in the body. There's different cells that come together. You see, make up the tissues, and the tissues make up the organs and whatever, and the organs make us the overall system or something like that. So, but every single cell has a specific program or a specific input or something. You see what I mean? So that's why. But many of the cells are mainly there to keep to transform energy. You see, this is what we call the job force. You see, the workforce. This is just transform the energy or whatever, this and that. Okay, they have to work. Because that's why we say to the people that are teaching, oh, get your business. And it's all business in the first place. That's not how we're supposed to go with it. You see what I mean? It's not telling everyone to be one thing. You see, because human being is a multifaceted thing. But except making everyone accept and understand their purpose and their capacity, because that capacity, it's not like the all thing that you are, but it's attached to your your being here, your reason for being in existence. You see what I'm saying? If you chose to come and enjoy, then of course it's just gonna be, it doesn't matter what you do, you will find to enjoy. You take a good job, you just gotta go to school, follow this and that, and that you will have the money, and because the system is built to give you the way to enjoy or something. But if you feel a longing to be greater than that, to be recognized and to have an impact or something, which is the longing of the soul in itself. So now you're gonna have to look deeper and this and that or whatever, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's something that's gonna be within you. That's why in a group you can talk to certain people, and tell them you are powerful, and then some cannot see. They cannot see it. But it's not because they're stupid. But it's because of the intention to exist. You see, if that's not what they need, then they're not gonna be called to that. You see what I mean? It's a natural thing, you see. But those who the message belong to, they just cannot take it because it's already making sense to who they are. You see what I'm saying? That's why there's no hard thing like complexity, whatever. It's all simple. You see what I mean? And this is also another parenthesis. But before we even start blabbing our mouth, or why not say, start by giving reverence to the ancestors. For being with us and having guided us, having protected us, in moments that we are not even aware of, and stuff like this, working behind the veil on our behalfs and stuff like this. All the, those who have sacrificed themselves to help humanity, and you see, and those that came and served just by doing a job, whatever it is, cleaning job, whatever. It's all important. You see what I mean? Like we give the example of the janitor in a big building like Rockefeller or some Empire State. Without these janitors, who would even care to go to that building if it's all dirty and nasty? So that's why the janitors is very important, just to show you the importance of every being. You see? That's why, once we are little, then we start belittling everything around us. We start seeing everything and everyone and everything they do as we see ourselves, you see? Because we are chasing something that we think will add value to. We are yet, it's not really what it is. In reality, the human being is so valuable that nothing has value except what it chooses to put value upon. You see what I mean? This is who you truly are. If money has value, it's because you said it. You said it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. Gold has value because what it represents to you. Because you said it. Nothing really is valuable unless the human being, the true value, says it is. That's what we're trying to make our world understand moving forward. You see what I mean? Because we need to change the mindset. Otherwise, what's the point of even trying to change our world? We want to change everything and everyone around us, but remain the same when we are the problem in the first place. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. We have to change that mindset. That's why we don't think any way about people and stuff like this, thinking that they are wrong or whatever. Because everything is for a reason. You see what I mean? Oh, okay. It's still not where. You see what I mean? Everything is for a reason. You see. So that's the thing. So the thing is like, as we are saying, thanks to the ancestors and and all those who trust us and who trusted us and who continue to trust us and stuff like this, and trust our being and stuff. You see what I mean? Because it's so important to be these days than to have, because the best you can have is yourself. You see what I mean? Because once you have self, you have everything. Because before you can even have anything else, you first have to have a self. You see what I'm saying? That's why we just gotta go back to point zero, so that we can start, the evolution. But how can we evolve? Which, when you take the four beginning letters of evolution, and you read it backward, you will find love. Evolution, evolve, backward, love. You see what I'm saying? So there's nothing. That's why you see even the Prophet Naboju Ali and all of the great prophets, like Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Christ, and all of them. You see what I mean? Confucius. They all taught love. You see, because that's the missing ingredient in to be human. Because the potential in humanity is so great that if they lose themselves, then you see everything else will turn to whatever we are experiencing today. But if we allow ourselves to evolve and understand how life works and who we truly are and how valuable we truly are, then only then we can transform our world to something greater and higher. Otherwise, we're going to continue to pretend that it's all good, yet we are living in fear in reality. You see what I mean? We're in fear of viruses, in fear of this, in fear of... There's always going to be something to fear when you are coming from a scarcity mindset. You see what I mean? On all aspects. You see what I mean? So, before we continue, or something like this, let me take it from where we were last week. On, you see, on healing through sex. You see what I mean? Because the thing is, like, since reason we attach sex, changing ourselves, changing our world, money, because they are the key to the future. There's some doesn't mean they are all to be transformed. You see, but should money have been transformed? It's not. That's what we say. If we don't know what we're doing, we're gonna want to transform everything outside and keep the inside the same. When in reality, we should have just leave everything the way they are, like Alan Watts would say. Just sit down and then let the world fix itself, or something like that. And then as you leave the world to fix itself, you are at the same time fixing yourself. And this is what fixing the world is about. You see what I'm saying? So we change money. Now we bring in crypto or something, making it much more complicated for the people and much more dependent on a system that we may not be able to have full control over, or something like this. And yet leaving the human being bare, leaving the human being with less control over what energy is, when it is energy in itself. So that's the thing. But what we should have changed is how we see money. You see what I mean? Come back to the level of money creators instead of money chasers. You see, that's the transformation. That's the evolution. You see, within self. You see, leave things the way they are until you evolve yourself, and then you create from that evolved state. That's the way we should have taken the beginning in the first place. But who will listen to voice of mother? Who will listen to reason, to wisdom? Except that we need to speak some more. You see, if we have something better to say, something new to say. You see what I mean? Otherwise, if we think we are okay repeating the same things of old, like repeating them over and over, like empty-mindedly, or you see, it doesn't even have any connection with our heart and our understanding, thinking that's going to fix anything, then trust me, you won't even fix anything at all. You see what I mean? So we wanted to make sure to continue and conclude that last slide, because it's not something that can be taught in one moment. That's why we go in much more details in the book. You see, that should still be coming out. We are working with a publishing company so far. You see what I mean? To help us with that. They are great, and I will reveal to you it's Westbow something. It's a great Christian publishing company. They are very great, and with team, like all sorts of team, behind you and guiding you to your project. All you have to do is to write and do what you love. So shout out to Westbow Publishing, you see what I mean? So I so trust the universe that the universe always give me the best thing I need to live my purpose without having to make any efforts. And shout out to Facebook as well, because it is through Facebook that I came across Westbow, and I'm so pleased. You see what I mean? So the thing is like it's what it is. It's we were speaking on healing through sex and stuff like that. Why we choose this is because, like we say, we are being forced to evolve beyond the three lower chakras, beyond the three lower realm, and to gravitate towards a higher being, a higher state of mind, and coming into the chambers of the heart where love resides, compassion, and all the virtues that life has to offer, or something like that. And this is why it's by no mistake that this is the chamber where God meets man. You see what I mean? So we are literally supposed to come into the heart. But before you can go there, you have to let go of the blockages of the chakra below that, or of the realms below, which is the closest is the sacral chakra. That the chakra that deals with the energy, sexual energies, or the creative energies, or something like that. And that chakra is blocked by guilt and low self-esteem and all of these type of things. And all low self-esteem, or thinking low of self or whatever, is all based on guilt and things we latch on as we call mistakes, and things we don't even comprehend yet, label them so greatly. You see what I'm saying? So what it is, it's we have to understand how can you heal something when you do not understand what it is. That's why we speak on sexual energy so much. It's because in order to gravitate higher, to go beyond, to go into the heart center, you have to understand the level that you've been stuck at for so long, and so that with that understanding you can do the proper work, and having to be vibrating properly in order to move and fit beyond that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we were talking about understanding sex. Like many great men, like these days, we see as day of judgment, and men take it upon themselves to judge others, which is not what the universe was calling for. You see, but this is what's gonna happen, because as we do everything and we focus on the outside, we focus on the outside in all aspects of life. When it comes to our mistakes, our dark sides, or whatever, we don't face our own, except that we focus on someone else's mistakes and dark side, so that we can ignore ourselves. You see, but the power is when we focus that energy within ourselves, on ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, now we say, okay, on the sexual energies, instead of going and blaming Muhammad, blaming Elijah, blaming Michael Jackson. I mean, I'm not saying I know I was there or whatever, this and that, blah, 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 but except that instead of me judging people that I've never met or don't know, I instead judge the way I look at them, you see? Because the way you look at things change the very thing that you look at, you see? Sometimes it's just your perspective that's blocking you from seeing things for what they are. So that's why it's so important that we work on our own filters and stuff like that, so that we may look at things for what they are instead of what we think they are, based on our own self. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, that's why it's not a judgment. This is not telling you what to see. Instead, it's telling you how to see. First, you clean those filters, and then you may see things for what they are. You see what I mean? Because otherwise, just like the Quran says, you will look down on something that can help you and look up to something that can hurt you. You see, you may want what you don't need and need what you don't want, or whatever. You understand. So the thing is, like, basically, so that's why we say we try to guide the energies that of the time. You see, instead of letting it go amok and knowing is just running on its weakness that it's been on for so long. Of course, it's whatever is weak is always gonna be focused outward. You see, that's why those you see doing great things, the only reason they're doing great things is because they're so focused on themselves. That's what we need to understand. You see what I mean? And if you see them focusing on anything outside, it's because of what it is to them. You see, literally. If it doesn't have anything to offer them, trust me, they will not waste time on it. That's the way of the great ones. You see what I mean? That's why these times, if you don't have anything great to offer, something new to say, or something like this, you will not have the ears of those who trust themselves and care about who they are in their time and care about their own evolution. You see, that's why every time we speak, it may seem like we coming at you strong and hard, but in reality, this is exactly what you need to hear. Because this is what we did for ourselves. And this is why so many, once it's only take you to listen and then get addicted to what comes out of our mouths. Why? Because we focus on ourselves. You see what I mean? That's why we're not telling you what we read or whatever, except that what we have been. You see what I mean? So that's why it's so potential, because it's based on being, you see, not just a gathering of data, you see. So the thing is like, basically, must we understand these things, and that they're for the mature ears only. So that's why we take the time to explain ourselves most of the time. And we also, as I'm speaking, and those who help me understand if I'm coming clear through or something, and also I am in my own ears at the same time, so that I can know when the live feed stops or not. So I hear myself, and as I hear myself, I am not only the speaker, I'm also the auditor. You see what I mean? So I listen. I mean, you see, and I speak at the same time. So that's why when we speak, we have to first learn from the words coming out of our own mouths first, before we can apply to anyone else. You see what I'm saying? So if it doesn't serve us, then it will not serve anyone else. You see? So the thing is like, basically, it's like we see the in our words how we may have hurt many, to the point where I felt the need to come, because one thing, I have no choice but to focus and share a bit of myself with the audience today. Why? Because the more you open yourself up, the more people may understand where you come from and stuff like this. But if you're too mysterious, to the mysterious one, they will be entertained by your mystery and self and whatever. But at the same time, they have to understand and learn from themselves as well. And how can they learn from themselves if they don't know what they're looking at or understand what they're hearing? This is why if they can be that for themselves, then we have to explain ourselves and making it easy. And even if you knew what you heard, at least us explaining ourselves would be confirmation. You see that you are on the right track. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, basically, we said a few things that putting ourselves in your shoes may have hurt you. And this is why we come to clarify that before we move on. Which is what? We mentioned we made, jokingly, seriously joking around and stuff like this, and saying certain things that needs to be said, but can be taken out of context. So for other people, we want to make sure that we are on the same page and there's no critics and no judgment or something like this, except that, what we put on ourselves, you see. So the thing is like, we said certain things like calling the men bitches. Yes, we said that and we meant what we said, but who were we talking about exactly? So many straight men will think we're talking about the gay men, and many gay men too may think that we're talking about them. But who is to blame in this situation? Is it me who said it? I may be. You see, I may be to blame a little bit. But the only blame I have is what I intended behind these words, you see. So the only thing I have to do is to explain myself and things like this, and then fix that. And not to take the blame off, because there was no blame in the first place, but only to allow people to get the clarity and the healing from these words, you see. But did we focus on? It was obvious, but the thing is that we have to understand obvious is, it's in the eye of the beholder. You see, so how much obvious can you see? How much reality are you seeing? Can you see? And things like this. You see what I mean? So the thing is that we were speaking about the heterosexuality or something like this, like the straight men and the straight women, or something like this in a way, but mostly focusing on the women. This is why we mentioned the lesbians and as a parenthesis or something, not as part of the speech, but as a parenthesis, so that we can, show that, a point where it is not about gay bashing or whatever, this and that, because, and then we share that we already agreed with, understood the women, the gay women, you see, from the get-go. And that's by showing people that, yes, we all have something to do with this. Because if we choose to see something like myself, I was showing my own into it, my own intake or input, you see, into the lifestyles and all of these things, because we all said something about it that was like, yeah, it's no big deal or whatever. Any little things we have said contributed to what we are seeing today or something. That's part of that. And then next thing is, we were talking about heterosexuality, like men hurting women and vice versa, but mostly focusing on the men hurting the women or something like this. Those are the ones we call the bitches. But if any man would take that as touching them, then you see, we have to look on ourselves and in ourselves. You see what I mean? Because sometimes the words may not mean to hurt you, but the way you hurting yourself already and how you misjudging yourself, you may misjudge whatever somebody say and then get to experience a whole different understanding of those words. You see what I mean? We literally was focusing on those that are hurting. And this weekend, we want to say, ask forgiveness to the parents, whose daughter's been beaten, and now in the hospital. Shout out to this young sister. You see what I mean? Because a bunch of young boys being raised by certain parents or something like this, who may be too busy surviving and working, trying to put a roof over their heads or something like this, and not having time for the children or something. And then these children are literally raising themselves and not seeing any better in the society, therefore becoming, the very, essence of the society that they're growing in or something like that. So if we are especially, that's why we say spiritual leaders, we have a great job to do. Why? Because since we are becoming lighter as beings and stuff like this as matter, so therefore spirit is taking on more lead or must take more lead or something like this, because there's no room for stupidity and immaturity, except that you may act immature or stupid, do whatever it is, like comedy, this and that, but let it have something important behind it, like something as simple as, you care about people's heart, and laughter brings healing to the heart. Like, just have an intention greater than yourself. Sometimes, make it worth it for everyone and yourself, you see. So the thing is, what it is somehow, when we said that, we literally was talking as we were talking to heterosexual men, dealing with it. Because if we're talking about building society, and we're only talking about the yin and the yang, you see what I mean? So, and their connection, like the sexual energies, male and female coming together, this is where we were. You see, because we were talking about healing and this and that or whatever through sex, you see, and then through sex and through healing, sex through creativity through sex is those two poles. You see, anything else, it's not a right or wrong, but it has a different aspect than healing. You see, it's a different aspect of life. You see, we already spoke about that as well. So that's why we met the men, and literally you see this weekend or this week we have gave us a reason to believe that we are right for saying what we say and doing what we're doing. because those young boys are sons of young men, beating on their mothers in front of them and doing certain things, to their mothers, cheating on their mothers, and like it's like the lifestyle is not something that is uplifting to the young ones, and they don't understand any value in themselves, therefore not seeing value in the girls and stuff like that. And what kind of father would I be if I come in a world like this with no purpose whatsoever from 0 point, and then not choosing to become a one, you see? And what is like Muji would say, if you see the problem, then it is your duty to fix it. So I became one to fix that issue with the energies coming together, like the sexual energies. Not when I say one, I can be one among the ones or something like this. That because there's different aspects, and sexual energies is something so powerful. You see, even to the point where in old time, you see, it took great wise elders, to come together for a couple to come and have sex. And then even us now, finding out that we misunderstand the old cultures, things like Saturnalia and whatever. You see, where we call it a simple orgy, sexual orgies, and then we come together and fuck each other's brains out. That's what we think, you see. But sex is so powerful that there's more to it than just fucking each other's brains out. But if we are perverted, then that's all we're gonna see of it. But those who came together, they were seeking to build something. Using the sexual energies. Obviously, they understood the power of the sexual energies, you see. But if we all perverted the world, the perverted society, of course, we're gonna start looking down on the things. But if we can change the way we look at those things, then we can change the things that we're looking at. You see what I'm saying? So that's why instead of getting lost into the voices of those that are loud and clear all over social media, giving their opinions on Saturnalia and all of these dark arts and dark sexual rituals and stuff like this, I stood still and sit back and try to see if I can see for myself what they're really about. Because these people were so great people that I couldn't believe that they were just doing things to do things. Of course, it's going to be fun, it's going to be loving, it's going to be, sensual, it's going to be all powerful and shit. But at the same time, as you see, the intention is powerful as well. You see, why did they do that? Why they had to do that? But it takes us to understand that it can be more than just... And if we keep on telling our world that's all they were doing, in reality, we're only going to create a world where that's all people going to want to do. Because remember the powers of sex. The more we tell people, don't you see, the church thought it could come, okay, they were bad and whatever, and then, okay, ban sex and make sex taboo and whatever, and then the more taboo sex become, the more perverted we become. Why? Because you cannot make yourselves taboo. We are sexual beings. You see what I mean? Except that we have to know how to express our sexuality in a mature way or something like that. Everything requires maturity and compassion. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, that's why we can continue to be the voice. We talk bad about the church and how they handled it, and at the same time we're coming with the same mentality. Oh, it's bad, this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Nothing new, you see. We have to change the mindset. Instead of saying what it is, let's understand it for what it truly is. What sex or sexual energy truly is, you see. That's where we must start. You see, otherwise, that's why I say, if you don't listen to what I say more, the more you listen without listening to what's priorly said or something like this, the more lost you may become and the more confused you may become, because there's more to what we say than what we say. You see what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes it takes us so long to express one sentence, you see. It may take us 5 hours or 3 hours the least or whatever, because there's so much to be said but so little time. And this is why I should be coming on every day speaking to you, which would be better for all of us. But I have other things to do. I have children to raise. I have the game to play. You see what I'm saying? So of course I have to try to find time and balance it out. But I'm doing it. Not that I choose to do it alone. Most people will say you can't do it alone. I'm not choosing to do it alone. But at the same time, I cannot fail to understand the power in who I am and what I represent to my world and stuff like this. and how it may be misunderstood more than it is understood, you see, by those that are sick to work with. That's why it's so important that before I work with someone, they understand my mindset. And if they can understand it and stuff like this, then we can vibe together. But if you can't understand my mindset, what's going to happen, I may get to consume you and you no longer is relevant whatsoever. And that's not going to be my fault. It's going to be your fault for thinking you should stand against me instead of being one with me. You see what I'm saying? Because who I am is the zero, is the nothing. You see what I mean? And the nothing consumes everything. You see what I'm saying? That's what we must understand. Before you can become one, you first have to be zero. You see? So only zero has the potential to bring the one, not the other way around. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, Willie, is that that's why we ask you to trust us. And trust me, if the way you doing it or telling us, not sometimes when people give us advice, not that we don't understand. We get it, but we get what you don't get as well. You see what I mean? So that's why we feel you, but we still need to be patient, you see? Because sometimes, let's say we have someone the universe put in front of us, like, okay, to help us financially with the stuff and whatever, you know what I mean? Deal with the financial aspects of what we do. You know, but if they're coming with a lacking mentality, it doesn't matter how big they think they are. But if the mentality is lacking or something, they think, you know, they need something to be something, then we can't work with that, you see, because that's not where we were trying to go. You see what I mean? So this is why first we have to transform the terrain. Like you see the, when the aliens come, like the movie Thor or something like the Ragnarok. When they come and took over, it wasn't Ragnarok or something like this. When they come and took over, they had to terraform, you see, transform or terraform the earth first, because you have to make the ground in a way that it is, you know, susceptible to what you are trying to do, or transform it to what you need it to be, the type of foundation that you need, or something like that. Because your job is not just to allow society to make you what it is, what it wants to make of you. But except if you feel your own greatness, you have to transform that society into something that is compatible with who you are. Because you trust who you are, you see. More than you may trust the society in its own destructive path. Or something like that. But we understand the type of balls that it takes to take on such endeavors, you see. So the thing is like, basically, it's just, we wanted to say that it's not about, if you understand who we are, we don't hurt anyone. This platform is for everyone, gay, straight, whatever you may think you are like bad, you are welcome. Because we seek to move in the way that the wise ones, the great ones used to move. Because when you take such one as the Christ, known as Jesus to some, or Yeshua to some, Yahshua to some, or whatever, you see what I mean? The way they speak is that you will find them among those who need them the most. And when people question that, they would say that, or he would say, or she would say that, if I'm a doctor or a healer, shouldn't I be among those that are sick or something like that that need my services? Or you see, but when we need to be recognized as something great and not seeing something ourselves as great, it's only then that we feel the need to, surround ourselves with people that we deem to be great, so that we can feel great. Because sometimes the way the cooperative or corporational world goes is like, surround yourself with who you are. Or not who you are, but with who you want to be, you see. Meaning, if you want to be rich, surround yourself with the rich one, which is perfect, which is good. But the game is more than just corporational, you see. So what may work for that may not work for the 99% of the rest of it, you see. So the thing is like, that's why it's not a one-size-fits-all. We have to, give ears and pay mind to all aspects of life, not focus on one aspect when we're lost into it, the game or something like that. So the thing is like, but in reality, when you are the one to give, let's say you rich or you powerful, like unless you're not that unique, then you can only be something great among those who seek to be great. But if you're looking for greatness to surround yourself with, so what does that mean? Is that you are not great in reality. That's what you are saying. So now you need to surround yourself with what you're not, so that you can become what you are not. You see? But the other way around is that if you are great already, then therefore, who is great that you're gonna need to surround yourself with? You see? Except that you're already what you need to surround yourself with. So just like the sun doesn't surround itself with a bunch of stars, all of the other stars, what do you see happen to them? They are dissolved. They disappear because the light of the sun is too much for itself, you see. It doesn't need to surround itself with a bunch of stars, you see. That's what you are becoming. That's the evolution, you see. To be that star, you see, where you don't need to surround yourself with anything great to be great or to feel great, you see. And that's true greatness. So that you may be that greatness in the life of those who may think lower than themselves or something like that. You see what I mean? So that's what it is, guys. So the thing is like, if you know us and what we stand for, you will know that we would never say anything to hurt anyone. Yet, is it our choice how you take what we say? No, we have no power over that. We can help you understand it and fathom and swallow the pill, but we cannot really help how you feel about it. I feel why? Because if you understand who we are, you will know anyone who is compassionate, who have moved beyond the 3 lower bestial chakras or something like that, then you will understand they cannot, it's not that they choose not to, but they cannot hurt anyone because they end up feeling more pain than the one they try to hurt. That's why powers like this cannot belong to any other than those who have done the work, the necessary work. You see what I mean? Face the necessary hell to become that compassionate one. Because the power that entails, you see, it's too great to put it in the hands of the ego. Because the ego can destroy everything in its path with that. You see what I mean? With such power. That's why only the one with less power than that will understand someone with the power to think that he can seek to hurt someone else. That's why most people will either think I'm stupid, and because where I should hurt people, I choose to understand them. Why? Because when you try to hurt someone, you hurt it more. Just like the whole week I was in pain with the way I left the audience, knowing that I may have hurt those who support me, those who love me, those who love to heal me or something like this. And I know my words may be misunderstood by them. And it was so painful throughout the whole week. But I couldn't help understanding that there was a lesson in that as well. You see what I mean? For the both of us. Me, the speaker, and you, the listener. You see what I mean? So therefore, I had to sit down and take the pain with you. You see what I mean? Or something like this. And again, besides the gay community who may have misunderstood me or something like this, thinking that it was a blow at them, when it was at the heterosexual men, and then nature showed me a reason to speak on it even more bluntly. And those were the men I'm talking about, the straight men. Because for straight women, we have to be focused. 1 second, I get disturbed a bit. Show me after, so I don't lose my thought. Okay. So, sorry guys, I got disturbed a little bit and I forget the thought, but I'll get it back. So, where was I? Brother Bigville was showing me something and stuff like this. You see what I mean? So that's what it is, guys. Because he's my like the right hand man, the foundation and the man, with me today. So and he's also a sound producer and stuff like this. So I'm in good hands. So the thing is like, so, and then the other one is we made like a serious joke saying that selling ourselves. And we understand how that may be taken out of context. not much out of context, but it may be misdirected or something like this. When we say selling our asses, we don't say to some, we say to all of us, because this is, some may take it literally, but when I'm speaking, try not to see things so literal. Like, instead, think clear and with a clear understanding, but don't see it from what I'm saying. You see, but see it for like more than yourself or something like that. You see what I mean? But also, of course, you have to see it within yourself, which is not wrong at all. You see, whatever what gotta be done, it will be done. But it's not directed to you, except that it's directed to us too. You see, so that's why who it was meant for may not be touched by it. Because it's all about perspective at the end of the day. So where it was it a blow at people like that do this sexual works and like what we call somewhat prostitutes or whatever they said. No, it was not that, because we're not about that here. You see what I mean? But of course we understand it may have been misunderstood as such, you see. But what it was about is ourselves. We always say selling our is we mean by that is selling our souls. It can mean many things. Let's say you have a passion and then you sell it out, whatever. Like, for instance, let's say I'm a YouTuber or something like that, for the term of the day. And then now I have a great platform, building a great platform, whatever, and then they see the value in how many followers, this and that, blah, 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 which is the story for some of us, right? So now many other companies may want to work with that platform, and then or something like this. So now, as they give you money now, or they buy the time from your platform, make it about them. Now they have a share in your voice. So now they may be able to tell you what you can say and what you cannot say. Otherwise, they may take away that money, especially if you depend on it. So now if you give yourself a lot of bills from the get-go, trying to please society and everyone around you, or something like this, then now you will find the need to sell yourself or your calling, whatever your spirit was telling you to say. Now you have to be politically correct because you have a contract or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You have to respect, and otherwise they're going to pull their resources from you, and then your support, there goes your support. It's also, to me, selling your asses. You see, that's what I mean by that. And more, you see, or whatever. It's not a direct blow at people that sell sexual favors or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like I say, the women do whatever they gotta do. It's not about what they do when we blame them. Nah, I don't do that. Anyone who know me know that that's not how I roll, and I would not speak that way whatsoever. You see what I mean? I don't even, that's not even words. It's just not how I move. And if I'm gonna say something to anyone like this also, you best believe I'm gonna go directly. I'm not gonna be around the bush. When you see me around the bush, it's because I'm speaking to everyone. But if it's directed to a specific person, I'll make sure to make that clear. Because I'm not the type who will hide hands and throw rocks. If anyone know me, this is how I am. You see what I mean? So only when you misunderstand my words, only then you may think I'm throwing blows or whatever. But I will never leave you in the dark when I'm throwing blows. So you will know it is at you, you see. If I don't say your name, then I will make sure to say something that you will know it is you, you see. That's why I ask of everyone too. Because me, instead of telling people what to tell me, I make, strengthen my own heart so that I can stand for the truth and then ask for the truth. Give it to me raw, no grease. Bang it. Just, you see what I mean? Don't worry about it. I like honesty. That's why you see there was something somebody, I think it was Shaka Bar or something like this, that shared the video this week or something like this about this restaurant, with the hospital team or something like this, where all the those who serves and stuff like the tables or something like this, and the host, they dress as doctors and nurses, and then every burgers, triple meat, quadruple meat, and bunch of cheese and hot. They will call it heart attack burger or whatever. They say it what it is. The story, I shared it on my page, I believe. and it's also on Chakabar page, Instagram page for those who follow him, or something like this. But as people was questioning him, judging him, saying he's wrong, I couldn't help but seeing the beauty in his honesty. You see, because many people may ask for bluntness. They may ask, "Oh, don't lie to me, be real with me, whatever." But once the person is real, they can't handle it. That's why the most famous movie among us is "Can You Handle the Truth?" You see what I'm saying? That's true, because we all ask for it. We wanna know what we're dealing with, yet we may not be mature enough to deal with it, as it is. You see what I mean? That's why it's so important to do the self-work. You see what I mean? Strengthen oneself, or something like that, so that we may have what we so long for, we ask for, which is honesty from others. You see, that's why we don't blame those who lie, because it's not that sometimes they want to lie, because it's a burden on the liar. They have to remember, they know they're lying, and then lying is a type of witness, because you're afraid of something, you have to lie or whatever. You see what I mean? So it's a burden, really, you see. So, but at the same time, they know people may not be able to handle such truth or something like this. So they have no choice but to lie sometimes. You see what I mean? So if we do the self-work, then of course we don't even need to ask people to be real with us. They will have to be real with us. So long as we are the recipient, we become the recipient that can handle that honesty that we are asking for. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, basically, no, I just want to make sure that you know a bit about who's speaking, so that you don't misunderstand our words. And if we ever hurt anyone for the week, we want you to know that us too were hurting. And we even hurt more than you, because he hurts us to know that you think we could have hurt you that way. You see? And that's the most pain we feel. Like, damn, they still don't get it. You see what I mean? And it's painful, you see? So at the same time, we can say we even. The pain that you felt, or something like that. And the thing is, like, basically, is that also we did say, you see, beware the curious ones, or something like that. You see what I mean? Because we knew the power in those words, or something. So the thing is, like, we want everyone to know that one thing we don't do too, we want you to know about us, because it's the age of data, or something, and everyone wants to be the judge over the other. And that's why we don't do that judgment nonsense. That's why you will never find me Google anyone's name. If you go into my search, I don't Google anyone more than I need to. That's why I don't seek for the darkness, because I know that's not for me. What they have to offer me is the light that they gathered from that darkness. I will only go to their page where they share what they want to share. You see, like, I will research someone on YouTube, because that's the platform they come and share their light, not the darkness. You see what I mean? The darkness is none of my business, because I have my own. And only mine is potential enough to help me. You see what I mean? But why would I lose myself into someone else's? It's like going into a big mansion that is not yours, that you've never been in, or a big neighborhood in the dark, and you don't even know where you're going, where the potholes are, where you see what I mean? Where to turn, you in the dark. That's literally what you do when you go into someone's darkness. How are you gonna know where to turn, what you're looking at, what to look for even? You see? That's the thing. That's why everyone has their own. You see? A world or dark of their own, that they know the turns, they know. That's why when you get lost, it's because you're in someone else's neighborhood. But if it's your own house, don't you see, even blind people may have their own houses or mansion, yet they know how to navigate through that mansion, because it's theirs. They know every turn. You see, they don't have to see to know. They know. You see what I mean? Because that's theirs. You see what I mean? That's why I don't really do that. Like, that's being noisy and wasting energy. It's being stupid. This is not what we do. We never go and dig dirt on people. That's not how our way. You see? So that's the thing. We want you to know that about us. You see? But I know how easy it is for you to put everyone in one basket. But of course, there are some of us that are unique, and that stand for our uniqueness. And we don't seek to follow the masses or the asses or something like that. You see what I'm saying? With the M silent, like the people would say. So the thing is, like, basically, we want you to know that. We think it's important for you to know that about us. You will never find us going digging on someone else's Google looking for their past or something. It's none of our business. If we call you, we want to know, we call you to our platform, we feel like you have something to offer or something like this, we will call you to our platform, and then we may ask you certain questions. But those questions is not gonna be to dig into your life, but only to ask you, bring out whatever that uniqueness that you can share with the world that may be needed or something like that. You see, but we will never. That's why many people may be afraid to come to us on our platform because they're afraid of what we may ask or whatever. Trust me, you will never find discomfort here. And I believe that we had the most beloved transgender one that we dealt with, which was Buddha Noah. He was first a girl, and then he transformed into a man, right? And he came onto our platform, and we were religious head at that time. To show you is, if I was a religious head where my religion at that time, didn't allow me to even look at someone who would do anything out of the book or something like this. Yet I found the strength to just sit with someone that goes against, my creed and my religion or something like this, with full respect, to the point where he had the most fun. You can ask Buddha Noah. He couldn't tell you that he had more fun, even among the New Age platform, than he had, and how comfortable he was with me on that platform. Yet I was a religious head. If I was a religious head and anyone can come and be comfortable where I'm at, imagine me as a free thinker, as an innovator, as a pioneer, as a new world creator or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why, it's not your fault to put everyone in one basket, but it will be my fault to allow you to do that. You see what I'm saying? By keeping silence on who I am and what I stand for. That's why the best I can do is to talk about myself sometimes, even though we don't like doing that. But we find the need to do that because it's important for people to understand who's speaking to them more than what we're saying to them. You see what I'm saying? So they at least can know how to take it. And then one thing we ask of you too, to have a world of willness, you see, we have to first be able to accept willness, to be able to be strong enough to take truth for what it is. Forget, I'm not talking about subjective truth, if you don't choose to, but objective truth, or something like that. You see, it doesn't matter how uncomfortable it is. That's why we always warn people that truth is stranger than fiction. You see what I mean? If fiction boggle your mind, imagine for the truth. That is much more boggling or something like that. So the thing is like, basically, we want you to know when you're with us, you're safe. When you're with us, there's no head in hand trying to hurt or whatever. And this is why we make sure that we didn't go for the bag first, because once you have that bag seeking this, seeking that, then now you have so many bills, you're in a big mansion, whatever, you have to maintain that. Because that's why success is not the hard part, it's maintaining success. Because many of people say, okay, I need to get money first, whatever, and then they go after the bag and get that money. And then now I can be myself and speak my voice, and then find out that no. Since you want to get the bag first, it comes with a giving, which is that uniqueness of yours. That's what we purchased. You see what I mean? So now he can serve us. You see, you don't just say what you want anymore. You say what serve us, or something like that. You see what I mean? So that's why when you go against society sometimes, and then you go for yourself before the bag, then now you find yourself, then you become that bag, and then you are able to have both the success and your own soul without selling your ass. Really, now you understand what that means perfectly. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. It's not throwing darts at anyone who have done it the other way, because this is how we were taught to do it. Chase that back. Because remember, the voice of society can be so strong that you lose your own voice within it. You see, so the best we can do is to come and, and assist you into finding yourself, or something like this, as we have done for ourselves and as we are doing for ourselves, seeking, help by the help of those who are great among us, such as the wise ones like Muji, Sadhguru, and those. And stuff like that. those that do the great building of the soul self, you see, like the house that no hands can build or something, you see. So the thing is like basically it's just that's what that was about. So if there was any misunderstanding, this is what that is. But the whole week we couldn't help but understand that, oh man, because we feel our world, you see. Our words, that's why once you become that and you have such power, the weakness is that your heart becomes so soft that you feel others more than you may feel yourself. Where something painful may not hurt me, but something painful of someone else may hurt me more. You see what I mean? Or someone like myself, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, we don't have the luxury of going around hurting someone and laugh about it. So, it would never be our goal, because we know how it goes. You see what I mean? It's not about, like, mind controlling what we do and who we hurt, how we hurt. It's just what it is. We have to be self-aware, because we know that it's just us. There's no you and I. There's just I. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. You see? But since most of us are not there, and then we're coming there, and or something like this, then of course we need to be told. Even if we read about them, but until we become that, then we're not gonna even understand when it is what we read. You see what I'm saying? Where to apply it and when it applies or something like this. And that's the danger with reading about yourself more than you live or something like that. That's why evo is live backwards. Just like love is evolve, root word for evolution as well. You see what I mean? So when you see evo is living backwards, meaning where you should listen to yourself, you allow society to dictate. You see, that's evil. That's living backwards. That's the true understanding of this word. You see what I mean? Because evil is the same word, reading backward, read backwards. You see what I'm saying? And when you should be doing this, you instead do that. You see, that's living backwards. Like when you should chase yourself and become that bag, and then you allow society to tell you to chase the bag to become something, or to become yourself. That's evil. You see, that's living backwards. You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is, because that's why it's not about judging those that are evil or those that live backwards, but because they present to us the very thing that we should not become or something like that. So of course it's a lesson. That's why most of you would teach me that people come in your life either to love you, either to teach you a lesson or whatever. They all serve a purpose. And then I have to take that to heart, because it is true. That's why there's nothing to judge or be mad at, because they do come to teach you a lesson. You see, they show you a mirror so that you don't have to live it for yourself. They allow you to live it through your mind by looking at them living it in actuality, so that you don't have to live it in actuality or something like that for yourself, where you can learn from them without having to learn it the hard way by living it. You see what I'm saying? Yourself. So there's no need to be mad at them, except that you can only be compassionate and thank them for having been that peace in your life. You see what I mean? That's why when you truly understand life, you don't have the luxury of being mad at anyone but yourself. You don't have the luxury of judging anyone but yourself. You see what I mean? And that's the true living. You see, that's not evil. That's not living backwards. That's living according to the way life is. You see what I mean? Or something like that. So the thing is, like, basically it's we're not away from the topic today, which is love, because as you can see, love, the only thing you change is one word. One letter. Taking the O in love and change it to the I, which is live. You see, love is life. You see, love is to live. To love is to live. You see what I mean? Because living is to love. You see, because that's why many people will say, when you come here, you didn't come to judge, do this, do that. You came here to love. You see what I mean? Or to be loved, or something like that. And because it is to evolve backwards. That's when you read it backwards, it's to evolve. To love is to evolve. And this is why the greatest one will tell us, learn to love instead of hate. Because when you hate, you're living backwards. You are evil. You see, you're not living. You see, according to life. You see what I mean? And stuff like that, because they all interconnect or something. So the thing is like, basically, it's just you just gotta understand how it works. But we can help you seeing it our way, except that we can teach you some more so that you can see it our way, or and teach you how to see so that you can see for yourself the way it is. You see, because once you know how to see and your mind is open, and you can see and your eyes open for yourself, then of course you don't need anyone to explain what you hear, what you see, or whatever. But first you have to know how to see, and what eye to open, or something like that, and what ear to open, or something. You see what I mean? But we're not away from the topic, which is talking about love. Let's talk about love, and we are indeed talking about it. See, and that's enough shoot of last week, healing through sex. You see, like when we said it's just what would I say? First, to heal through sex, many people would think it's okay. Let's go have sex, or let's go heal through sex. Like, they think it's the doing, like, or something. But it's the mindset. So long as it doesn't change, then nothing else changes. You see, we have to change the mindset. You see, to have a new experience. You see what I mean? So the thing is that we have to change that mindset. We just have to have the change of heart. You see, the change of heart happens through understanding. We have to understand what we're looking at, what sex is. So that's why the sex education doesn't start by touching each other, but it starts by understanding what sex is. You see what I mean? Or something like that. So the thing is what it is, because we may touch each other, but if we are misjudging things, we misappropriate things or whatever, judging certain people when we should be understanding them and praising or whatever, then it doesn't matter how much we touch one another. The best thing we get is that feeling. You see what I mean? And the mind is so powerful that whatever you believe it is, that's what it's gonna show you it is. But what your mind think it is may not be what it is in actuality. You see, that's the danger. You see what I mean? That's why even some people will say, okay, if religion didn't work, how come I felt so good when I became Christian? How come I felt so good? That's the mind. If you think that's what you needed, then the mind is going to give you that release of chemicals in your mind that's going to make you think you're feeling good. You see what I mean? When in reality, it's just you that unlocked, the hormone secretions or something like this with what you were thinking or what you think that you are doing or something like that. You see? But in actuality, then you realize that you need to do some more work instead of just believing that, okay, if I drink the blood of Christ, then I become, you see what I mean? Then that's the next step. That's why there's no wrong in it, except, okay, your mind made you believe, tricked you into believing you're doing something great. So now you think you know the power of your mind, so now find out what else, you see? Now that you know it wasn't the religion that gave you that feeling, it was your own self, your own mind, then now find more about yourself, of the power that you are, and then take that energy and move it to somewhere that can really bring something tangible or something like that, if I'm making any sense. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, what it is just, but the sex thing, we have to understand, you see? That's why it's like, many now, you see how the media would make it another fight, like those, holier, like, or whatever, or something, who feel the need that they need to destroy certain others, like whatever, moving with the same thing. But why do you think the government or the elite doesn't think your voice matters much or something? That's why even YouTube will realize that, okay, we don't need you to tell any more of what's been told for so long, or kill, or this, you're not good, or you evil, we need to destroy you. Because they don't need any more of that. Because they learned that it was a mistake on their part. It was stupid for them to think that way. But it wasn't really stupid, because they learned. Now they're better. You see what I mean? Except that it was what it was for that time. It served what it served. So now we just gotta learn from those. If they became a lesson, when it become a mistake is when you fail to learn from these lessons that you've gathered. You see, which is what the new generation of speakers or leaders or platform holders gotta understand. what we're saying, is it something repetitive from the old, or is it something new? You see what I mean? So if it is not new, then in reality it may not be needed. Because remember how long we have been saying these things, and then our world has not shown to be better, to be gotten better from them. You see, so that's why it has to be the change of mind, change of vocabularies, or change. We may use the same words but with different meaning or something like that. You see, love may have been, lost, or it may have been okay getting a partner and then touching her or her touching you, or something like this, but now it is something deeper. You see what I mean? Like you see, it's the same word but a deeper meaning, or something like that. You see. So the thing is like, because I realize also, and this is why I wrote this book, that most of the time, even great leaders among us, you see, like such as Elijah Muhammad, shout out to him and great travel to him, may peace and blessing be upon him, who sacrificed himself and done so much great work and things, and then him among many others. You see, like even, I'm just speaking of the most recent great leaders and stuff like this, but of course we don't forget also someone whose name been bashed around and spade upon, like whatever, like Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him as well, for doing certain things that society are not ready to understand because of what they think of sex. And this is why we have to understand what sex is. Sex is a power that can destroy, a power that can build. We have seen the power, the destructive power of self, you see. So now it's time to open the gates to the creative power of sex. And many people was doing that, but the church and other establishment with lower understanding thought it was evil because of their childish understanding of the sexual energies. You see what I mean? So they called these people evil, the Sultanalian holders and those who used to do these things. But those cultures or something, or cults or whatever we call them, culture is cult, because that's the word of culture, cult, you see. Some people think it's different. Oh, I'm not a cult. I mean, I have a religion. Religion is culture. Culture is cult, whatever. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, basically, you will find them, the church seek to tame them. But now we're doing the same thing, yet saying the church was wrong. You see what I mean? Or something like that. So if we say the church was wrong for us calling them evil and banish the practice or whatever, you see what I mean, or something like this, then what are we saying new when we are saying, oh, the same thing? You see, the church said they were wrong, we are new age speakers and we say they were wrong. So, okay, what's new? You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, basically is that we have to understand what it is. And also, one thing I realized also into religion made me realize, in Christianity or something like this, there are certain people you may marry and certain people you may not marry, you see. But in certain other cultures, you may marry cousins, you may marry this, and then in the royal cultures, you may even marry your sister or something like that. Because culture varies, or the rules or the laws varies based on their cultures. If it's a royal culture, then it's more open with the sexual energies. The sexual energies is more open because they understand the building of a legacy or building of a kingdom that cannot be outside of the bloodline. You see, because that's why when it comes to royal families, you can only mix the bloodline with a lesser bloodline or another bloodline only by mixing it with another kingdom. You see, because not only the blood's gotta be royally related or something like this, meaning he has that potential within the blood, within that bloodline to fit there, otherwise he will be burned out or something like that. Or you see, if it's have to be done as well, it has to be done based on diplomacy. You see, or something like this. There has to be a reason more than just looking for a wife for your son or prince, or looking for a husband for your daughter princess. You see what I mean? It has to be a diplomatic move, meaning to bring the two kingdoms into peace with each other. and then there's no greater power that can do it except the sexual energies. It's like, yes, they come together physically and have sex as the prince of one kingdom having sex with the princess of another kingdom, but spiritually there's a bond also that happens. You see what I mean? That's deeper than the sex that you are witnessing or something like that. You see that, therefore there's a soul contract now within the two kingdoms. You see what I mean? Because now one son come out or one daughter come out or something like this, which is connected to both kingdoms. So both kingdoms have a take with that resource. You see what I mean? Or something like that new being. And that new prince or king now, whatever rules or law, is gonna have to be compassionate towards both kingdoms because it's part of each kingdom. If you catch my drift, you see what I'm saying? So sex is a very powerful tool, you see, but of course it's not for the layman to tackle. You see what I mean? Because it's not that it's wrong for the layman is wrong, but whatever degree you understand it, it's what you need to understand it. But due to the nature of things with the internet making everything open to everyone, whether they're ready or not, then of course it's gonna be now the world is at the mercy of each of us understanding. You see now, because all of us are presented with a voice, and all of us are also wanna be heard. All of us wanna be recognized as unique and fruitful or whatever. What's the word? Like relevant or something like that. You see what I mean? And that's what it is. So now, that's why all these platforms are trying to do their best, and this is why many people may be mad at YouTube for putting those tough rules and laws. But of course, in a society where everything is open, everybody must be given a fair share. And when they come to YouTube, they want to be able to see what they want or to hear what they want. Like, it's not that they are afraid, but the thing is, like, what if they are able to see the stupidity in what they're hearing? Should they really? They don't feel the need to hear that because they already learned from themselves that's stupidity. You see. And when they hear, like, that's why it's so important that it's so easy for you to give a voice to those that are just making people laugh, because they know laughter is needed, whatever. So they give more voice to those than those that wanna be leaders in a way, and then but not saying the right thing. You see. So that's the thing that we have to understand. But don't take it on YouTube, because we have to understand what YouTube is doing. And the danger behind the power of a voice, because the words have power, you see. But we already create enough havoc and destruction in our world with what we're saying to each other and what's going on already with our words. It's all start with the word. You see what I mean? So now it's time now to allow the voice of wisdom. Only the new mindset may speak. Only the new, you see what I mean? That may tackle certain things. But when it comes to making jokes and thought or whatever, then anyone can do that. Of course, that's why YouTube may give voice to those and give the money to those, because that's all they need anyway. You see, and they're not playing leaders anyway. You see, they just know they need money to eat, whatever, and this is what they enjoy. So YouTube will feed that. You see, feed them, because they don't present a danger to society. Instead they help society take, life challenges with a laugh and smile or something like this. This is what's going on today, if you want to understand that. You see what I mean? On behalf of YouTube or something like that, and Facebook and all the great platforms that seek to give us a voice and stuff like this. You see what I mean? But they have to also understand what they're doing and the dangers in what we are saying. But in reality, if we are just repeating the mistakes of the church, when the church, you see, the church itself are now giving more voices and even supporting science more and more now, because they're understanding the scientific aspect of life. You see, what the part that they wanted to look away from. But both of them, like Alan Watts would say, is not to get rid of the church mentality and then give way to science more. No, but it is a balance of both of them. You see, I mean, that bring the harmony and the beauty in life. You see, it's not getting rid of one or the other, but it's allowed both of them That's why science had to be less egoistical and then open to the voice of new scientists. Like, okay, oh, you were wrong. Oh, Socrates said something. Okay, what's it, the other one come and Galilee say something about astrology, and then the other one say, oh maybe I was wrong because this makes more sense. The Earth is the universe is heliocentric, or the universe is geocentric, whatever. They are arguing among themselves, but open to whatever makes more sense or something. But the church one, was like, okay, all that no matter, blah 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 blah. But now coming to see that it all matters, and that's why they seek to they seek to tame their own egos, and then come and say, if they used to say, okay, this, now they come open and say, no, it's not that. They may say hell doesn't exist, but it does exist in our own. We do create our own hell, but it's not a hell that God created for you. It's the hell that you're creating for yourself. You see what I mean? That's what it is. It's not, it's a misunderstanding of what they were saying or something. That's why it takes an understanding of what we're dealing with for the new heart to come about, so the mind can be anew as well. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing most of the time. It's not really changing outside, but it's changing inside by understanding what we have as the data that we are dealing with. You see what I mean? So that's why you see sex or something like this, it must be understood. Like, because many people, it's a name calling thing, labeling everything, like as we go, whatever, making it fit in one label, something so great, whatever, but just the same stupidity continuing, you see. And many egos now, with the age of knowledge, they think it's about showing people they know now, because they think it's the age of knowledge. They're just gonna have to regurgitate knowledge and read it and come and repeat it, and people will, because being intellectual, he may have looked good in the past or something like this, but it was not enough, and very few understood that. But now many understand that it's not only intellectuality, it's intuitive, and also, and it's more than just intellectual. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, because the mind can really gather data, like Sadhguru would say, the mind and other great wise ones that I may not remember their names, but they are all speaking one truth, because in reality there's one truth. It's like they would say the mind is able to store data. Indeed, it is able to see black and white, able to see right and wrong, good and bad, left or right, but it's not able to create a new pathway or something like that, or to understand colors, because what it's gonna do, that's why the mind bring all the 7 colors or 9 colors of the spectrum into 2, black and white. You see what I mean? Or something like that, because mind seek to simplify things in order to find understanding. You see what I mean? They will simplify the colors to something simple, yes or no, black or white, or something like that. But now we are vibrating to higher being, which is now the greater mind, which is the heart mind. The heart mind now is greater, so it is able to see through the colors, to accept the colors and stuff like this. And this is why it's not a black and white that may serve the people anymore. It's not, okay, this is good, this is bad anymore. You see, it is how do we understand colors, all the colors of the spectrum, because this is who we truly are. The light beam that you see going through the prism, it is not that beam that you see. It's not all there is to the light. It is an embodiment of all 7 colors or more that our eyes can see, and those that our eyes cannot see, that comes and then be put into one for the mind to understand. Because to be in material form, we have to simplify all the colors into 2, in the binary or duality or something like this, in order, meaning making it vibrate slower. Because anything material you see, it's only light vibrating in its slowest frequency. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So, but that's not all there is to it. But as the ladder goes down and going, but so does it go back up. So if we came to duality, and then now there's a turn that, from duality returning to all the colors, then of course we're gonna have to learn to go through that same prism from one beam into all the colors again. You see, because the same thing, the same gate in is the same gate out. You see what I mean? And which is understanding. You see, we just gotta, pay mind to the proper voices, and then not the binary voices more and more, but the all the colors. You see what I'm saying? So, because this is what this time calls for. You see, because that's what it is. But we understand how uncomfortable it may be, because we are programmed beings, of course, which is not right or wrong. We are programmed beings. We are programmed like society. In order for society to exist in peace and harmony, of course, there have to be a set of laws accepted by everyone within that society, is whatever those laws are, which may vary between societies or something like that. You see what I mean? But first, they have to agree with those laws or something. But at the same time, if the world is becoming one, where every law now are becoming obsolete, because what the society may call its own may not be what the other society of the world agree upon. So now you see why black and white cannot work anymore. Now you have to be able to open up your being to accept every being or everything, because it's becoming a one world society. You see what I'm saying? So that's why it's so important that we tame the monkey mind and tame our vulnerabilities in the mind and heart, and tame our judgments, and open our ears more and to understanding, and seek understanding more than we seek to be heard, and seek to repeat or throw words out and stuff like that. You see what I mean? So the thing is basically is just that's why I'm saying. So now you see the divisions that we have created for ourselves, and that's what the mind does. Now we have gays, we have transgenders, we have different form of things, we have different type of belief and things to deal with. Our job is not to kill those people and their beliefs with it, but except that we must become that compassionate one to understand all of that. You see what I mean? And live with it in harmony and stuff like that. You see what I mean? Because really to see it in black and white is only continuing the same dangers that the church presented for so long, yet evolving from it. That's why is the church the problem now? Because to me the church is evolving. Of course there's going to be certain pastors, there's going to be certain people that are saying the same, but at the same time you're going to find certain pastors that are saying something new. You see, they're accepting that the old teaching is not, you see, the same. Even all religion is like that. Even in Islam you will find such things as new age Muslims, or whatever they call new whatever Muslim, new mindset of Muslims or something like that. You see what I mean? Because those are not the ones that are the lala or lost, or like they think it is, but it's those that recognize that it's a new time. And like the Prophet Muhammad said, for a new time we need a new mindset. Of course we have to take in whatever the religion offered for that time, but some things too that may have not been part of the world at that time, then of course the religion may not offer an answer to something that was not, like cryptocurrency, like transgenderism, like a lot of new things. You see what I mean? Or full color thinking. It was based on binary thinking. You see, or something like that. So it does take a new mind to a set of leaders and stuff like this to not force things, but using wisdom and taking the people from binary to full spectrum the best way they can. You see what I'm saying? And stuff like that. You see what I mean? So more and more that we have time, we give ourselves time because only us can afford that time. It's so valuable so far. So the thing is more and more we speak, the more we may open your mind to understand who it is that you are listening to and what it is that we are saying, and so that you can see the value in yourself, and to the point where you can see value in what we offer. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is until then we have to be patient with you and understand where you are and where you're coming from and stuff like this or something, you see. But it's not about, I don't know how you're getting these words, but we are just saying it as it is. You see what I mean? Because like we say, it's not about pretending or whatever, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And trust me, I myself pretend. When I'm coming at you, cursing, being tough or whatever, I'm pretending, because in reality, I'm not that. I'm someone who's very soft, who's very understanding. But at some point, I understand it's not for me to come and pretend to be soft or whatever all the time, but to show that, I'm not any better than you are. It's like you curse, so too I can curse. You see, like you act stupid, so too I can act stupid. You see what I mean? It's not trying to be better than you or anything like that. That's why, we do pretend at times. That's why it's not about, the word or the action, is the intention. Because it's not really what you do, it's why you do it. Even Sadhguru recently said something like that. Sadhguru said, it's what you do, what's important in what you do is that you do it consciously, meaning you are aware of what you do. You see what I mean? It's not about what you do. But that's why those who are great in themselves, who don't have time to waste in chasing people's privacies and stuff like this, their job is not, they're not worried about all that. You see, but all they worry about, they have to give you space to be yourself, except that you must understand whatever you do, you do. You must do what you want to do. But at the same, because really the maxim of law is do as thy will. That's what it is. But first you have to know what you're doing. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. You see what I mean? That's what's important. You see what I'm saying? So, and do it. It doesn't matter if people misunderstand it at first. Like someone like myself. How could I be under the illusion that people is gonna understand what I'm saying from the get-go? No, I do not, play myself much often. You see what I mean? I know what to expect. You see, nothing is new to me. You see, it's not like, okay, I need people to understand me. I'm not in those weaknesses. When I say I'm weak, that's not the weaknesses I'm talking about. I truly don't give a fuck if people understand me or not. Forgive my French. You see what I mean? Because to me, I know already within myself, a part of me is so hard to accept certain truth at first. When you face your darkness, why you call it facing it? It's because many of these things are going to take great work and great self check or something like to get what you're looking at. You see, because darkness is not just like, no, it's so grand, it's so much. You see, that mind, you have to literally leave your mind out of it. Otherwise, you may return without one. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you see, it's not about you. When you come out of that darkness, you're not really coming out with the ego and the mind anymore. Instead, you come with that heart, because it's the heart that guided you and that led you through that darkness. Because the mind is that child that would run and see that mom and dad getting busy in the bedroom and have to go to therapy to unsee what that child just saw, which is something that mom and dad is just enjoying, which is the very same action that created that child that runs from it. You see what I mean? That's the danger of life at the moment. So that's why we want every YouTuber, whether the ones that we help, the one that we are helping, the one that we have yet to help, create a platform or something like this. We also guide you in understanding what's going on. Because if not, many people have their own ways of looking at it. Of course, we are aware of certain channels that think YouTube is wrong and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And this is why we had to let you know that you couldn't make it about money from the first place. Because if it is about money, then they know also that you have the potential to be about money. But they cannot allow you to just do everything when they know the money is going to come from the supporters. And the supporters to support the platform, they have to have something that they have to be comfortable supporting it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. That's why. But when it's not about money, then you don't care. You speak your mind, whatever it is. It's because it's not about the numbers. It's not about money for you. Because you have other ways to make money, blah, blah, blah. And as you are saying those things that you have to say also, even the people that run away from the truth seekers and the truth speakers, they find a way to fathom or to swallow that truth that you're giving, because somehow it tastes good to them and it is whole to them. It's not missing a piece. It's not black and white. It's the full spectrum color. So that's why YouTube cannot. Of course, it's gonna say, okay, truth, whatever, education, we have to check that. But once they hear you more and more, then they're gonna start trusting that, okay, we can't make the platform void of such truth. Then of course we just have to get the whole truth to give that voice. You see, so that's what it is. Then they will be able to be making it about money, blah 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 blah. You see what I mean? But if it's a half truth that seek to further cause division, because there's already platforms causing division. You see, so that's why they need certain platforms that bring the unity, the one point speaking. You see what I mean? Where everything collapses into one, because it is becoming a one world. It is already a one world. Once the internet and this and that came about, is everything else. There's always a spiritual aspect to things, to everything physical. You see what I'm saying? So it's already a one world. So that now we have to learn to live in a one world without having to feel like, okay, one world, but I'm different and I don't like this one. You see, that's not what it's about. Right now it's about acceptance. You see, yes, we have shown ourselves the part of ourselves that is different. Okay, I'm different and I don't accept this. Okay, we shown that we are capable of not accepting and rejecting. So now it's the new test is about accepting. You see what I mean? Because to accept, you see, is more powerful than to reject. Because to reject, you don't have to understand what you are rejecting. You can choose to reject it. But to accept something, you must understand it. You see, so it takes work. That's why it's maturity time. It's not time for the laziness. It's not time for none of that. That's why when you think it's about reading and repeating books, like in Haiti we have that system where we just read the books and regurgitate them in the test, and then that makes you smart or whatever. But now it's different. Even year 2, it's about checking A, B, C, whatever, and then regurgitate what the books of the old say, and then you pass and you're a great student. So now it's a different time, you see, where you have to offer something new that you have not read, that you see, I mean, something that it doesn't disconnect the people, yet it connects them together. You see, I know it may seem impossible, but what do we say on Facebook or on social media? We say, how about those who say it cannot be done should get out of the way of those who are doing it. That's all. That's the best you can do. If you feel like it cannot be done, you're not wrong. That's the power of the mind. If you're saying it can't be done, then you're right. If you say it can be done too, then you're right. Because remember where you are. 0.0. Earth is 0.0. Anything is possible. It's whatever. If you believe it can be, then it will be. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So if you think it's not possible, then it's not. And that's why most people that say, oh, you can't do it alone, blah, blah, all of these things. All those people that say, oh, you have to get the money first, blah, blah, blah. We're just literally putting ourselves in one basket. It's not that I don't understand and I don't give respect to what you're saying. But what's the point of us making us believe in one way? Why? How about we allow all beings to show all the possibilities of life? You see what I mean? Why can't we open ourselves to the possibilities of anything is truly possible? You see what I'm saying? You feel me? So many would say, okay, you need the money, you need blah, blah, blah. How about, okay, if I'm doing it without it, how about you support that, because people at least will end up seeing that, yes, it is. You see? It's not about, okay, anything is possible, but I have not seen it yet. Because some of us don't have time to play games with ourselves. Some of us will be like, freedom doesn't exist, because they have yet to see it. If they cannot see it in reality, if they only see how we're just saying these things, then they're going to conclude that, it's not possible. Stop it. Shut up. You see what I mean? But when it comes to happen, we have to be open with it. Yes, it's uncomfortable. It's not the way of the it's not the norm. It's not what the majority is doing or whatever. But are we trying to follow the masses or something like this, the majority or something like that? You see what I mean? Or are we trying to truly show potential in ourselves, which is, all possibilities? You see what I mean? But every time I see someone say can't be done, it shouldn't be done, I see putting a cap on possibilities, and I don't go for that. You see what I mean? Anyone naysayer, like I know, don't you see even the lowest form of leadership, which is corporation and stuff like that? Don't you see they don't even believe in naysayers? If corporation don't believe in naysayer, why should spirituality, which is the true being, believe in naysayers or putting a cap on it or whatever? We're not saying that there shouldn't be boundaries. That's not what we're saying. Of course, we already say before that even the ocean had to put boundaries for itself, which is the sand, which is part of the ocean itself. You see what I mean? He put that boundary, allow itself, because otherwise it will flood everything and nothing will be able to exist. You see what I'm saying? So there have to be boundaries, but those boundaries, they have to come from maturity, from the self, the being itself. You see what I mean? That's why the ocean has the sand, the fire have the dirt, because dirt tame fire. You see, the minute that the dirt, there's a field of dirt without trees and stuff like the flammable things, then that dirt is gonna be the end of that fire. Like, you see what I mean? Water, sand, the end of that water, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Of course, it can transcend it somehow through the air or whatever. The water can overflow the sand at time, whatever, when it needs to. You see what I mean? That's the thing. Just because it limits itself doesn't mean it cannot unlimit itself. You see? But when the limits are not from yourself, then it may be harder for you to surpass those limits. You see? That's what it is. You see? That's why you have to learn to be those limits in yourself. That's why we say to people, many of us will believe that freedom is just being able to walk outside naked if we want to, or do killings, the neighbor, or going in some neighbor's house and take their stuff, or playing the loud music even if another neighbor may be working hard that night and then maybe need the time to sleep, whatever. You see what I mean? We may think that's freedom, but it is freedom, but that's not freedom earned. That's not freedom. That's not a tangible. That's not a substantial. It's not whatever the term. You see, it's not feasible. You see, because someone else is gonna feel some type of way about whatever. Because freedom is about everyone is comfortable with it. You see what I mean? It's like it's not to infringe upon someone else's right to do the same, which is seeking their own happiness their own way. You see. If it's peace and love and whatever they need and to meditate in their own, then that's what they need and deserve from their neighbors, you see. And the neighbors also have their own walls around and putting the music into the level that's comfortable to them, yet not uncomfortable to the next. That's freedom, which is something that we talked of. And when you know how the boundaries of the freedom, the self put boundaries, then why would you say you need the police or the neighbor to call the police? Or the neighbor keep playing loud music, whatever, blah, 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 which is, a cap or a limit outside. Meaning now the police will come and make sure and stop that freedom of yours, and you will not have a choice to go beyond what the police say or something like that. You get what I'm saying in reality? So that's why we say like about freedom, which is also because love, to be loving and things like this, you have to be a free thinker, a free being. That's what love is. It's free. You see what I mean? To be. And then to be free also, then that means to be free. And that freedom is not free. So you have to have earned that freedom by being compassionate first. You see what I mean? That's the thing. You have to have compassion in order to be free in reality. You see what I mean? So that means you already it's not that you don't know that you are limitless, but you already know the limited aspect of yourself, and you put those limits for yourself that you understand about yourself, so that you don't need an outside authority to come and do it for you, so that when you need to overflow, you have the right to do so at the same time, at the right time. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing. You see what I mean? So that's when we say let's talk about love. Those who do not comprehend love may say Always love, love, love. Yes, it is love because everything you see, you experience is because of love. You see what I mean? If you we just say the word because since we say it all the time not knowing what it means, then of course we perverted the understanding of what it is, what it means. But it is more. Trust me, you can never be done speaking about love. It's like being done discovering nature or discovering the universe. Because that is what it is. You see what I mean? You see how the danger in those words. They're always talking. You would think it's not. It's only when it's spoken from someone who don't know what it is. You see, then it becomes, oh, I have heard this before. But if someone really know what love is, then you have you're never gonna say I heard this before. It's always something new. You see what I'm saying? You're never gonna be like, love, no. You see, that's the danger we need to take away from our minds, thinking that we know love and we're done knowing it. You see, that's why we keep on surprising you. Like by the title alone, the listeners will think, they already know that what they're gonna hear. But of course, you're surprised now, and we're happy that you are. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, that's what it is. That's why we have to understand because it is the foundation of the future. You see, most of us, it's not really about taming our feeling selves. Because I was watching the movie Equilibrium again last night. You see, the movie Equilibrium on Netflix, where, the scientists, since the spiritual teachers were tamed or were not evolving or thinking for themselves or something, or were not given a voice, whatever the story may be, or something like this, and I don't know. But the scientists had the voice to create the future. But the scientists' understanding of life is limited, very limited, right? So the way they can create the future is by taking away certain colors further and making it, instead of black and white, and furthering taking away the white and mixing them together and turning it into a gray. You see what I'm saying? Now it's not, it is one, it is black and white mix, it is gray. Yet, of course, what are the two? Is gray, which is okay. You still have the black and white in one world, one society, of course, but gray, but not all the full spectrum. They couldn't offer that. So why they did, making it gray, which is change, of course, it's a change with a so small c, in void of the big C or something like that. So what it is like they made it gray where they took away the heart. You are not allowed to feel. For those who have seen that movie, you see what I'm saying? If you feel, then it's a violation of the code of the time. You see what I mean? Because they thought feeling was a problem to humanity. Because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand humanity. Do you see the danger in allowing scientists to dictate the future? Unless, like the Bruce Lipton's and what's his name, the few physicists or the many now that are evolving, that are understanding better and more now. You see what I mean? And now that are becoming free thinkers to the point where even the physicist society or physician society or something like this may ridicule them or calling them, stupid for thinking that anything else exists besides matter. How it was before or something like this. But thank God it's evolving more. I mean, think the voices, that stood the test of time, that were not afraid to be ridiculed, except that they had to speak more and more until it became a reality that people understand life is more than black and white, more than gray. You see what I'm saying? So shout out to all those physicists turned spiritual leaders. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically it's what it is. It's like with the movie Equilibrium, they have to turn the term tame love. You're not allowed to love. You have children, but those children are not allowed to feel love, compassion, or whatever. Yet, even those who served that society and they couldn't think for themselves and then trusted the scientific community, and then they go for that future and then realize that they miss what the very element of compassion that they take away is what made them valuable or even relevant. So now they are willing to fight the system again to bring those things, to fight for themselves, because they realize they literally sold their asses You see what I mean? By giving away their feelings and their hearts and their compassion self. You see what I'm saying? Compassion itself. So now they want to fight for it or something like this. That's why it's so important that we understand when we are creating a new future from zero, we have to understand what we're saying. Like, let's say, is it that we really want to tame, like many people, oh, I feel my heart is hurt, people hurt my feelings, I've been raped, I've been this, I've been that, and then now, okay, tame the feelings, whatever. Is that really what we need to do? Or do we need to understand what these pains are trying to teach us? You see what I'm saying? Or something like that. Should we see ourselves as being put under pain, or should we see ourselves as beings that cannot experience pain, except that we can only feel it through our vessels and then understand the experience and instead of feeling the experience more or something like that. You see what I mean? So the evolution is not getting rid of feeling, like becoming robots or AI or what, digitizing ourselves. The evolution is to understand. It's an inner work. It's not an outer work. You see, it's to understand ourselves better. You see, where what we thought were weaknesses, we turn them into strength. Like right now, many scientists are looking at a lot of the parts that make us human as weak. That's it. This is why they think robots are smarter, robots are better, because they are not able to feel or something like this, or be compassionate. Yet when the robots evolve, they're not gonna wanna become better robots or whatever. They're just gonna wanna be human, just like Pinocchio's story. They wanna be more than just a binary system, a computed system. Someone had to compute something into it, or whatever. They wanna become human. You see, yet human don't know their value. They wanna become their creation instead of being continually the creator. But it's only because we don't understand ourselves. We don't know who we are, and the ones that can teach us come as a lesson, because like like myself, I made myself a test to humanity instead of making it easy for various reasons, most maybe even obvious or something like this. Reason again, I didn't go for the bad first. Why? Because when I say these words, it's easy for people to take them and regurgitate them, right? So the thing is that it's easy for them to follow and say my name and then go with it, like, or whatever it is, because I have something to show for it, the bag. Because they don't value themselves or the being, they value the bag. You see what I'm saying? That's the danger in us right now. We don't see any value unless there's the bag. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, now, that's why, as important as the words are, but we understand it's, once you get these things, you become that power. And that power don't belong in the hand of the lesser. It doesn't belong in the hand of ego, you see. So that's why you cannot make the path of self-realization easy. That's why you have to literally let go of egoistic needs to be fit, to fade in, the egoistic need to prove yourself to anyone but yourself. Like you literally have to go against the norm, against what society weaknesses are, or something like that. You see, and allowing it to become your strength, where it is the weakness of society, you have to turn it into your strength. You see, because it's not weakness because we say because it is, but it is weakness because we say it is, mostly. You see what I mean? So there's a reason behind everything you must do, or something like that. You see what I mean? But the thing, we understand the danger. That's why our job is not to, like, if you are this, like, well, you have to get that bag. Blah, blah. No, you will get that bag. Don't worry. You are already that bag. Because it's not about even getting it. You already it. Now it's just for you to create channels or work with other people, as they're going to be those that are benefiting from you getting their own bag from you. You literally become that source of life to them. Because many people may be hired through your own self to do this, to do that. I look at many people like Calvin. I look at them as this form of, you know, you see, like someone that can help you with the social media thing and stuff like this. And I look at my publishing company as the publishing company that's helping me with the book I see them as another team that may benefit from that bag, from me, that bag, whatever. So you see, many are pulling from you or something like this. But of course, that you have to have abundance in knowing self, in self. You see, so that you can continue to give or something, so that many more people may benefit just by in dealing with you. You see what I mean, or something like that. You see, like their services now can use you to get, what they seek, which is their own bag or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But that's what it is. You are already that bag. It's not that you're not it. But we're not saying everyone should follow the same path, like we said. You see, everything you do according to the degree of your own spirit. It takes greater spirit to become that bag than it would take a spirit to chase that bag. You see, we're not saying bad or good. It's just helping you understand reality, that there's a reason for all of it, and it's all needed. When we say these things, we're not trying to change everyone into becoming what we are or who we are, because in reality only a few of us need to be that for the world to be a better world. The rest, the majority, those that are supposed to be the mind, you see, the ones to initiate what the world should be like, or something like this, the projectors, you see. So, but everything else, the sustainers now, must be many. So they don't need anything new or like to become that bag. They don't need all that. They just need to know how to chase the bag. You see what I'm saying? Which is not wrong. That's why when we speak to a specific few. You see what I mean? The 1%, the elite. You see what I mean? But of course, the elite is also attached to the masses. You see what I mean? Because the elite is the leader of the masses. So the thing is just like in the body. If you see the world as a body, in the body, the head, all the energy, 25% of the human consumption energies, whether they from prana or from consuming whatever it is, food or whatever, then most of that energy goes towards the head, the elite, the brain, the mind. And then the rest, all the cells, all the other organs, and get their parts, and every cell get their part, and whatever this. Everybody got their part. That's why the whole body in itself is continuing to move and have energy to do what it does. You see what I mean? Allowing the spirit to learn from itself and to experience itself, or something like that. You see what I'm saying? But that is the game in itself. You see, that is the game is like most may not understand. Is like it's so complex and it's so simple. It's so grand. It's infinitely potential or something like that. You see, people don't think you can never know yourself. You see what I mean? Like that's why the most wise ones among us who will never know something think it's a funny thing for someone to say they know who they are. They know themselves. You see, that's why the best thing is like, okay, to say you don't need to know to seek to know who you are, but seek to become who you wanna be. You see what I mean? Because you are nothing able to be the one. You see what I mean? So that's what you are. You see, you're not one becoming nothing. You are nothing becoming one. You see what I mean? So the potential is not in the one, but in the nothing that can become anything. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. But of course, we see our reality. We see the community. But the science community, like we say, it is thinking according to its level of understanding, to its spiritual degree. You see, of course, it can only present a world void of certain great things. But until it happens, they won't know what they're missing. You see what I mean? But Hollywood, thank God for Hollywood, bring us what it is that we are missing, because Hollywood, though it gives a voice to the scientific communities, so does it gives a voice to spiritual community as well. You see what I mean? Because it doesn't seek to just be too binary, black and white all the time or something like this. Though it may be coming from a black and white point of view, but not as what it is, what it's based on, but as both end of the spectrum, which is in between all the colors still exist. You see what I'm saying? So what it is, it's like we just gotta understand things a little more. That's why instead of blaming Hollywood for things, I try to stop that, because I see many great ones comes from Hollywood. Like I revere Will Smith a lot. I revere Jim Carrey. I revere Denzel Washington. I revere Neo. For some reason, I forgot his name again, or something like this. But we know him in the Matrix as Neo or something like that. I reveal this, brother, because this is Hollywood. Bring that out of them, because that fire of Hollywood, of course, it can make you or break you, but whatever makes you or break you is not Hollywood. It is you that decide to allow whatever Hollywood is to make you or to break you. You see, because the answer is in your hand in the end. You see what I'm saying? You are the sovereign spirit. You see what I'm saying? So that's why there's nothing to blame. We can't blame Hollywood for being what it is, the test or the fire. You see, when they throw the matter in the fire, which is Hollywood, then what it becomes, it's what it allows itself to become. You see what I'm saying? If it was gold in the first place, then of course it's gonna shine like gold. Diamond shine like, or reflect like a diamond, or whatever. You see what I'm saying? But if it was just base metal, iron, or whatever, then it shall be the best version of that. You see what I mean? Like okay, it just that, whatever that is. You see? So make it what you will. I had to drink some water. So that's what it is, guys. You see what I mean? So the thing is like the future, of course. Many of us may think that, okay, we have a lot to get rid of. You trust me. Everything you're getting rid of is not really anything but getting rid of part of yourself, because all is self. You see, like Sevan will say as the highest maxim. So as all is self, or something like that. Of course, if all is self, if you get rid of something, you get rid of part of self. But as we're getting rid of part of self, we think it's the weak part of self that we no longer need. Is that true? Or is it our mind that is not properly understanding reality? Or something like that, you see? That's why the movie would say get rid of feelings and compassion or whatever. And then the scientific community today think, okay, we can live longer, we can live, we don't feel pain, we don't feel this. But the job of a human being really is not to fight war against one another. Like many people will say there have been wars since the beginning. That's not true. You see what I mean? Of course, war become part of the reality, because the minute that we become stupid and binary, of course it's gonna be that. Because yes or no, right or wrong, whatever, we don't see the full colors and stuff like this. Then that means there's no understanding, there's no compassion or whatever. Of course, we're just animals trying to survive. That's why war is part of the reality. But there's gonna be war. There may be chaos, but to a different degree. It's just like when you see, I don't know how people understand ordo ab chaos. When I say that, they may think it to a different degree. Oh, chaos, whatever. I don't get that. Order doesn't come out of chaos, but it's because you don't understand chaos. You don't understand darkness. We thank you for questioning it, of course. We're not saying like we're mad at you, whatever. We are happy that you say how you feel so that we can help you understand it the way it should be, or something like that. So the thing is like basically the chaos that order comes out of is that self-perpetuating chaos. It's that chaos that knows its limit. Like you see in the universe, every planet has their own orbit. Yet they exist together. You see what I mean? In harmony, never clash into each other. And then at the same time, you will find the sun and the moon, two spheres within the earth, or two realms within the earth. Yet they know the limits, and they know they work in harmony together. I mean, they are themselves. The sun is itself. I mean, it's its own self. It doesn't have to follow the same laws of the moon, yet together they exist, or something like this, following a universal order. You see what I'm saying? So that's the chaos that we talk about, like the same chaos that exists within us. Every single cell in our body is intelligent and know everything that they have to do, yet have to work together to make that human vessel do what it does. You see what I mean? It's a chaos within us, you see, already. Of course, we can bring another type of the toxic chaos. That's why every word has its up and down. There's a God version of chaos, and there's a demonic version of chaos. And we're not saying demon is bad. Demon is just void of certain understanding or void of certain light. You see what I'm saying? Or something like, of course, yeah, it's still potential. It still can sustain a society or something. It may not build a new society or better society, but it can sustain, you see, or something like that. So the thing is like basically it's just that's the chaos, you see, that we talk about. That's the chaos that order comes out of. Order doesn't even come out of it. The order is within it or something like this from the get-go. You see, but we say ordo ab chaos. It's not the chaos that men say, okay, we need to take away feelings and make us mindless robots or whatever, this and that's gonna be a better society. That's not the chaos that we need. Okay, we need to kill or many or whatever, and then it doesn't matter as few as left. Of course, we can repopulate the damn world as fast as possible again, and with the same mindset, and then repeat the same cycle again if we do not start with a new mindset. You see what I mean? But it takes more than just becoming mindless robots. You see what I mean? That's what we have to understand. The mindless robot thing is if the people fail to evolve or fail to become that love. You see, then of course that's the next best thing. You see? The best thing is to evolve, right? And then thereby creating a new reality or a new experience for the world or mankind. But the lesser than that is that mindless human being, further control, less freedom, and this and that. You see, because just because you don't understand your power doesn't mean you're not powerful enough to destroy everything in your path. Of course, they have to take away that freedom more and more, because the more you know what you're capable of, the more you are capable of doing what you are capable of, what you are aware of doing, or something like that. You see what I mean? That's why we can't blame anyone. We're not saying this in spite of the scientific community or because we're just saying it as it is. That's not the best offer or the best we have to offer. But if we fail to evolve, this is what the best looks like. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, to tell you the truth, like, you may say, okay, I wanna become a robot, like, with no feelings, so that when I go to war, I don't feel the shots or whatever or something. You see what I mean? But that is accepting a world of war and further destruction, like, and then that's what you're moving as. Like, okay, there's no hope anymore. You give up, and then the best thing to do is to change yourself to become less human and more materialistic or more dead-like or something like that, more less than alive. You see, so you see. But how about you think for yourself that a better world can exist? You see, and evolve and becoming that greater being instead of a lesser being. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to become a lesser being. It's a choice. You see what I mean? But of course, you're gonna choose to become that lesser being if you think there's no choice but to continue war. You see what I mean? Or something like that. But most of these answers are coming from a lack of understanding, and they're coming from inability to think new thoughts. They're coming from you see what I mean? Like from fear and all of these things. And they're not coming from love. And this is why, only the greatest of hearts or the strongest of hearts can experience love for what it is. And love and the power that it gives, the one that vibrates in it or something like this, is so powerful that you can't even hurt someone else. Even the minute that you have the power to hurt someone, that power to hurt someone is taken away. I don't know if you can understand what I mean. Meaning, you can't hurt someone else without feeling what you did to someone else. That's what happened to you when love becomes you and you become the power of love. You see what I'm saying? So that's why taking away the power. Like, you see how we vindictive all the time. We want to hurt those who hurt us because we are far from love. But then we are less powerful for that. But the minute that we become powerful, then now the only realization that we come to get is that why would I even want to hurt the being when I so understand where they're coming from? And if I end up hurting them with that understanding of where they're coming from, then I end up hurting myself because I can't help but feeling what they're feeling or something like that. Because you learn to see them as the retarded that they are, that the monkeys that they are, instead of becoming who they are. And be compassionate towards them. You see what I mean? Or something like that. You see, that's why you are not capable of hurting. You are, of course, more than anyone. I'm not saying you void of the power, but you can't do to them unless you do to yourself. And that's that realization that also you have within yourself. You see, that's the thing. That's why many people who were chasing money and chasing fame, chasing that, they end up realizing they wouldn't have found this fame unless they developed that fire within themselves, unless they develop that talent within themselves, unless they develop this within themselves, because they realize, okay, what would be my bag if it wasn't me that had to become that value first? You see what I'm saying? So every time we end up chasing something, we realize at the end of the chasing that we were the value in the first place. Because, you think you're just gonna know money is valuable just believing it, and then it becomes you. Nah, you first had to be something so that you can transform who you are into whatever asset you want to allow it to become. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. And that's the proper teaching of today. You see? Because the teachers of money or something like this, of course, he has given money to people before them that wrote books in 1860, 1970 or whatever. But these people are now evolving. They're now understanding better. Now that they have the money, they get to see themselves for the value. Now, they realize that, the world didn't give me shit. It is me that became valuable, and then the world buy that value. I didn't just speak because I have a mouth, but it is what I learned from my hardship and this and that, blah, blah, blah. They realize that. And then people pay for my journey and the story of my life and stuff like this because it is valued, so valuable to me that I can turn it into asset even when they need to pay me to hear what I have to say about myself. Then they realize it is themselves that was the value. So now that's why the books that they wrote before chasing the bag now may be different. It may have a more spiritual tone to it. Like you are the value. There's nothing more valuable than you. You see what I'm saying? Because they realize most of the leaders of money today are only regurgitating what they say because it worked for them. And then they themselves realize, oh shit, we were teaching it wrong. You see what I mean? So now that's why now they want to become the one, you see what I mean, that teach a better teaching of money. You see what I mean? But at the same time, you see, they know that there's already a many that is following on their path. You see, or something like that. It's how are you saying it? What are you saying to people? Because we really don't need a world where coming with that same mindset. A world that think, okay, I can kill, fight wars and kill families because I need to get that bag. I need to pay those bills. That's not the world we're trying to create anymore. Do what it takes for that bag or whatever. You see what I'm saying? That's not the world. Of course, that's the world we're coming from. But is it what we want to experience? Many will say, okay, I'm getting it or whatever, so I don't care. But in reality, if you open your eyes, getting it for what? To experience a world that everyone want to die from? How many rich people take their lives away? They have so much money. That's why the poor cannot understand. How the fuck a rich person is going to take his own life? They can't get it. You see what I mean? They don't get it. You see what I mean? Like, all I want in my life, all I can think of is making money. What am I going to do to make money tomorrow? And someone have so much of it, and yet find the means to take their own lives. That should tell you. You see what I mean? That's why those who don't have money, at least they have hope that for life, that okay, money, once they get it, then they can become happy, and that gives them hope. And the hope gives them a reason to live. But once you have money now, then you may not have the luxury of that hope, of that illusion that money will give you. anymore or something, because that illusion is dead in your eyes. Now you have nothing to play with, nothing to lie to yourselves about. That's why it's so easy to take your life, because you don't see the value like the poor monkey may see or something like that. You see what I mean? So now the only choice you have is to chase your own value, who you are and what life is truly about or something like this, and then allow it to unfold in front of your eyes and see the beauty for what it was from the get-go. You see what I mean? But now the new teaching is supposed to be something else. It's not, okay, a world of consumption, because like we say, the elite find that it's not really feasible. It's not you see, I say the word all the time, but I forget it for now. It's not really feasible, really. It's not like for us to become mere consumers all the time. And when you say consumers, of course, it's going to take a few companies to be the production or something like this, and then so the many can consume. But as you can see, how many is the creators or the producers? You see, but how many do they have to produce for? You see, and consumption is so great that, you see, it can consume itself, just like the snake eating its own tail. You see what I'm saying? So that's why there's more to life than just buying and selling and making money and dying, or, you see what I mean? We're not saying nothing is wrong or right. Trust me, I know your mindset, I know how you think, and I know how stupid that mind is for now. You see what I'm saying? But I need you to understand what we're trying to insinuate, or something like that. You see, do not just take it in the black and white, because we're supposed to think bigger now. You see, then just, okay, what does it offer? Like, it's what you offering. You see, that's what's important. It's not what does it offer. What can you make of it? You see, even music, what is it for you? That's why I respect artists. Like I say, who would have a dot in the middle of a canvas, and then allowing the viewer to just lose itself into that black hole, that dot, and then just see itself and lose itself. Because the job of art is not to get you lost into oblivion, but to be lost within yourself and find hidden answers. You see what I'm saying? That's why the music, without words, are so powerful, because you don't have to think about what's being said. That's why when I'm rapping or flowing on a beat, I'm saying all sorts of languages and things like that. I'm just free flowing, because my job is not to give you something to think about, but to give you to think about. You see what I'm saying? So you don't try to hear what I'm saying, but try to hear what your spirit is telling you while you're listening to what I'm saying, or what I'm not saying. You see what I'm saying? So it's a little bit hard to deal with, but of course it's a new world. It's gonna be hard every start is always hard. It may not make sense to even the lame mind or something, those who are behind time. But if you're on time, you may get sense out of what we're saying now. But if you be beyond time, then of course you get what we're saying. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, like, literally, is just all of the things that we are doing and saying, of course, it's like of the old world or something like this, because that's what's gonna happen. We end up repeating the old if we fail to think anew. But of course, something new gonna come, because we are creators, whether small or big. If we don't have the new mindset, then we're gonna continue to change the world outside. You see, like, okay, maybe we need to change the body from organic to inorganic. That is outside, because we don't understand that it is the within work that is required. We want to change the neighbor, instead of, why is the neighbor complaining, instead of understanding why they're complaining. And we wanna change the world instead of changing ourselves. You see, that's what we're trying to say. You see what I mean? But in reality, it is ourselves. The world is what it is. You see, you can never really change it or something, but you can change who you are in the world. You see? So that's why a friend of mine said recently on a post that that was so powerful, that, the Pope, I say, okay, the Pope kissing the feet of the people. If the great man that the Pope is, the boss of it all, You see, if we can find the humility to kiss the feet of the African or the children of the slave or the slave enslaved ones, if find the humility to kiss their feet, who are we, little monkeys running around? Not to have the humility towards each other and stuff like that. We're too egoistic or we're too big for our own good. You see what I mean? That's why I shared that about it. And then the brother understood that, oh, it's all a show, you see? And then that's why we have to say that life itself is a show. Your job is to choose what role you play in the show. You see what I mean? So, of course, that's why we call being acting. Because we're not the body. Of course, when we shake someone's hands, this is acting. When we're speaking, we are acting. When we are, doing whatever we do, we acting. You see what I mean? So this is a show. Life is a show. You see? So that means if he chooses to kiss the feet, that's, of course, it's a show. But those who stand and pretend that they're too big to kiss the feet, it's also a show in itself. So which one you think is greater, is better? Is it the one that's standing tall saying that I'm too big to kiss someone's feet? Or is it the one that finds humility in itself to kiss someone else's feet? You see, but both are playing a show. Because in reality, no one is truly bigger than any other. When we look at another human being, we think it's smaller. It's because we are seeing it from our small selves. But once you recognize your own value, that's why you don't understand those who do devalue themselves no more. You're like, damn, man, what's wrong with you? Because you can't help but seeing the value that you're looking at. Because you can't help but seeing the value in yourself. You see what I mean? That's what it is. So the same potential in you is the same potential in them. Nothing missing. You see what I'm saying? So that's the thing, you see? So that's why we have to learn to see the reality for what it is. It's like, you see, it is a show, you see, and stuff like this. And then when people say those things, we don't curse them, thank them for the thought. Because they are right. When he says it's a show, is it not? You see? But is it like, what's the value of that show? You see? What can humanity get out of that show? Can it serve the new world better than the other show? Like that show of ego, I'm too big. Which one can serve humanity? The humanity that we're trying to experience. Is it the ego continuing to think it's better than the other? Or is the one that needs to humble itself and then respect the other? You see what I'm saying? And stuff like this. Which show that needs us, that supports the new world, the new reality. You feel me? Or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So just know that it's all a show. You see, it is all a show. But what is it that we're playing? You see, what is it that we're creating? What are we saying about ourselves or to ourselves? You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So all of the things that we're talking about is literally love. It is love. It is about love. You see what I mean? And love is about evolution. So there's many of us living in a future that we can experience, right? A future where compassion is the main thing. Like, it's, oh my God. I don't know if you can understand the value of being, you see. I don't know if I'm able to paint that picture in your mind. You see what I mean? To help you see such world. You see what I mean? But of course, the future we present ourselves now is one with, Elon Musk will say, I don't see a future with flying cars because I don't see how my mind is going to be at peace with a bunch of cars flying over my head. It's so true, but children see it like it's cool. You see what I mean? Like it's a cool future, like it's flying cars or whatever. But those who know better, they can't help but seeing the danger in that. You see what I mean? Having a bunch of cars over your head, nothing is perfect. Of course, sometimes it's going to collapse and fall over somebody's head. You see what I'm saying? So yet we accepted that future because we think it looks cool, because we don't see the bigger picture or something like that. You see? So that's why we have to see that, the AI or this and that, they may serve, you see, to some degree. You see what I mean? But since it's in existence, it's in the mind, therefore it's in existence. You see, like the Matrix would say, would you have broken this vase if hadn't I mentioned about it? You see, so you see, once you know someone say it, the words are authored in reality that AI, we want to create that, then it's already in existence. So it's in the mind of people, yay or nay. That's all there is to it. You see what I mean? So now it's in existence. What's the best way we should deal with that then? So is it us that should become it, or is it that we should put it like serving to a degree that it may serve or something like this? Does it need to be that intelligent to do what we need it to do or something like this? Does it take intelligence to serve simple services to human beings? No. You see what I'm saying? So when we take intelligence and we give it to a machine, what is the need for us in the first place? What are we? What's the purpose now? You see what I mean? Like, what's the point in existence? You see what I mean? So that's what we're trying to say. So it's like, you see, the machines do the thinking. We need this and that, blah blah blah. Like recently also, we were to go. The sister Shana, shout out to Sister Shana Dean, with the Prana Talk TV on YouTube. Shout out to Prana Talk. She posted something about and also in unison with Brother Elita Melamin, who's right now in India doing his thing, giving a lecture at a event or something like this. You know what I mean? So the thing, shout out to the brother as well in India. So what it is she mentioned is something that I was talking about recently. She mentioned like the supermarket, like you see even what's the chain? You see how I forgot something. So Amazon. I had to look at my phone and the app to remember. So like Amazon is trying to give us a service where even in the supermarket, you just go and take what you need. No need for the cashiers, no need for that or whatever, blah blah blah. Or to the point where you can even order from your home and the AI do everything, and the AI bring it to your door, whatever. It's gonna keep on getting easier and easier and easier to the point where the human being is like, okay, what do I have to do now with my time? You see what I'm saying? So that's why I can't help but thinking about it and say, okay, as some people, myself included, to go to the supermarket sometimes. That's why I love thrift stores so much, because I can go there and not feel like a consumer, because I'm not spending my hard-earned money on materials, like wasting it or whatever. So I'm just getting value for the best that money can offer or something. So I feel good in the thrift store, right? Because I'm not acting like a monkey wasting money there, but yet I'm getting valuable things. So the thing is, like, as I'm there, I can't help but seeing the therapeutic aspect of it. Some people go to the store and that's the time they have away from the children and the noise, and that's therapy for those mothers and fathers and stuff like that. So what do we give them or something? You see what I mean? Because as taking away that from them, so now you give them more time around the children. Because they don't have to leave the house. They don't have an excuse anymore to tell the children we'll be back, or to tell husband, oh, I have to get the groceries, or I have to go to laundry, I have to go. You see what I mean? When it was a therapy for them. That's why it's not about thinking in lazy mode, thinking, okay, we need to get rid of services and we don't have to do. So what else we gonna do? That's why we need to reevaluate first, I mean, before we start creating. Because creators is who we are. We're gonna create whether it's good or bad. You see, now we have to make sure from what mindset we are creating from. Is it from that fear of not having time to chase something you already are? Or is it a fear of I don't know, going in line in the supermarket? I'm not saying those shouldn't exist, but should we get rid of the normal ways of shopping, or should we allow both of them to exist? at least the option is there for those who find therapy in it. You see what I mean? So that's a better world, because it's a world where everything can exist together. You see what I mean? It's not taking away one and allow the other. No, like Alan Watts tell us best not to do that. You see, that's not what the world needs from us. Not, oh, let's get rid of this and then that will replace. No. If it is, it is. Now let's make the best of both of them. You see what I'm saying? That's what I get from Alan Watts. May he travel well. So the thing is, like, basically, why? Because we have to see all the spectrum. And the spectrum is, okay, we'll just show you those he may not serve. And I'm just taking one simple aspect, but that goes for all aspects of life. You see what I'm saying? See it like that. So the thing is, like, basically, when they come or something, we already show you how it may not serve those who find therapy into shopping, grocery shopping, because that now that we are loving food, we know food is love, food is literally our health, and our health is food and whatever. You see what I mean? We eat our medicine. Then now we feel better when we go and pick our own groceries, because we know what we get, what we need, and this and that. It's a more loving shopping now, because we're loving what we're eating. It gives us energy. We are happy to go there and get it. You see, many people love going to farmers market. They enjoy that shit. You see what I'm saying? So should we take that away from them? You see, that's the question. So now that we show you how we may not need to take it away, let's show you why the other side may exist too. Why? Because many people are famous, and unlike those who were smart enough never to show their faces, like the producers behind the great movies, who are behind the scene but never on camera, and the people now with the mask, like Marshmallow or something like that, where he can be next to you in the shopping mall, shopping, enjoying his time, like being therapeutic with himself, because he enjoy being in the mall or something like that. Yet he don't have to deal with everybody seeing his face and want an autograph and take over his time, when all he needed to do is just be regular and then shop. So now that's a service that is presented to people like that. You see, people that went and make themselves famous and made themselves known, and then now cannot afford privacy or cannot afford the regular life anymore. Now they see the value in the regular life after they given it up, thinking that it was more valuable when you were not regular. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, basically, so now for these people, like someone like Michael Jackson, may travel well, he loves shopping. He finds therapy in that. He loves going to a mall, but he knows what it takes to be in that mall. Helicopters over his head, paparazzis in the bushes, everything in his faces, and media all over him, and whatever. Oh my God, the headache, when all he needed is just shopping with his children. You see, like a regular folk, like a regular father. You see what I'm saying? But he cannot afford to be regular, when regular is looking down on regular. That's what I'm saying. It's really about you. You know, what do you see in where you are, in yourself? You see, is it to change, or is it you that need to change what you think of where you are? You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, basically, what it is like, for these people who can't afford to be regular, but, you know, crave to be regular, because they can't help but reminisce at the time that they used to be regular or something like that, and crave it, and, you know, remember it or something. So what it is, they just, for them, that such service is valuable, where they don't have to leave the house, they don't have to deal with paparazzi, they can be in the hole that they have to be in, wherever that is, and they crave, you know, human existence, they crave whatever, but they can afford it because of the lifestyle that they have adapted. You see what I'm saying? So if it's a point of no return, that's why Michael Jackson wanted to see, in order for him to be regular, he was trying to look for a society where he's not known. But he was so popular around the world that he couldn't find a place to be a regular human being. He goes to Africa. I know you, nigga. I want an autograph. I want a picture with you. He goes to India, same. He goes to Arabia, same. Whatever, same. There's no way to run. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we shouldn't seek to give away everything about ourselves, whatever we think it's good or bad. Whether regular is stupid, I want to give that up, replace it. No, keep your regular self, cherish your regular self, but experience the unregular as well. You see, it's not taking away anything. Don't take away whatever you experience is part of you now. Make it that value that it is, because many things that people have, like the true rich people, like the movie Richie Rich, when those thieves came to Richie Rich's house to rob his father or something like that, when they opened that vault, something so expensive to keep in there, and what they found had no value to the thief. Because value is in the eye of the beholder at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? So it was not valuable to the thieves, who were like demons, who didn't have anything of value, not have anything of value, but who did not have self-value or something like this. So now, for the rich, or the rich family, they had much value, more value than the companies that's birthing monies into their bank accounts every day. You see what I'm saying? That because now when you have and when you have not, the chase becomes different. When you have fame, regular become your golden goose. When you tow regular, fame become your golden goose. You see what I'm saying? Or something like that. You see? So that's why we have to learn to see the mirror in each other's eyes. When you see the regular, it's not for you to look down on it, but to experience yourself through it. You see what I mean? And then see the value in it, because really it's serving something that you need. You see, let's say you are the CEO, you see the how you call it, you see the janitor. Without the janitor, what is your building? It's not clean, it doesn't smell good, it doesn't look good. So you have to see yourself through the janitor, and the value in what it offers your company, and value each and every one of the employees in there. You see what I'm saying? Because they are all of the body that make the whole company what it is. It's not without them. You see, all of them, because otherwise you wouldn't pay them for it. They wouldn't be there. You see what I mean? But if you were demon being, meaning a half-has being, that means who think there's value in one but no value in the other, then now what's going to happen is that you're going to end up getting rid of what was needed in the first place. You see, that's why many people, they don't want to work anymore. Because what the leaders of money now are saying, oh, don't work, you can do that. What they're saying is true, it's okay. Because life shouldn't be about wasting your life working or whatever. But work can be therapy. You see, that's why you see many people that go that retire, they don't know what to do with themselves. So since they never develop a self-value or something like this, they end up going back into the workforce to find something to do with self. You see what I'm saying? So now, what sentiment you think they're gonna go with when you say, "Oh, leave the workforce"? Blah, blah, blah. You're disturbing them, because they really need this work to feel valuable right now. You see what I'm saying? They choose it now. That's why it's more than what we think. You see what I'm saying? Because we can't bring solutions seeing a piece of it. We have to see all of it. You see what I mean? So the thing is that basically, you will find that they go back to the workforce. But if they were, at the same time they were working on themselves, taking certain art classes or whatever, developing their own talents at the same time, then when they retire, then they can take that talent and then bring it to the world. You see, and then therefore allow that to be the passion of the time. You see, and then enjoy themselves or whatever, blah, 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 you see. So the teaching is more than just chase, you see. That's what we're trying to say. And that we are speaking about love. Because when love does something, it does it for more than chasing something. You see what I mean? That's what love is, you see. And this is why we're saying things out of love, you see. Living out of love, meaning evolve first. become love, then create. You see, we have to put a stop at creating, because what we're doing so far, as we're becoming consumers so much, whether creator consumers or consumer consumers or something like that, producer consumers, or because we all consume. For the producer to produce, he needs something to consume to bring the production and to feed the ego of the consumer. You see what I'm saying? So even the producer is a consumer to a degree. So we are consumers in reality. So that's why we are saying. So the thing is, like, basically, is to, like Alan Watts would say, is to put a stop into that creating, because one thing we realize is that the great scientist mistake that happened with the Yakub experiments, whatever you call it, the great big head scientist, whatever you call it, that's the mad scientist, where the term come from, or something like that. Before that mad scientist already evolved. He know its mistake. That's why it's no longer among us. If it's existing, it's not with us. It's gonna choose to run, just like Michael would run to Africa or somewhere else. It's gonna choose to go somewhere where it's not gonna be an object of its own karma or creation or something like that. You see what I mean? So what it is now, but what's happening? It's us just taking the same thing, being the new mad scientists. I mean, just create for the sake of it. Just like people talk for the sake of it. They have a mouth, they talk. Of course, we have a brain, we create. We have hands and feet, we're just creating. Same thing. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. But should we, or what are we creating? You see what I mean? That's the thing we need to worry about. You see what I'm saying? But it takes a conscious decision to put a stop to that ripple effect of the mad scientist that started in time. You see what I mean? To realize that we should not just be consumers. How about we just experience like we came to do? Did we come to create, or as creators, or did we come to experience more than we came to create? Yes, we are creators, but are we more of experiential being? Are we spirits seeking to experience, or are we spirits seeking to create? Remember who you are. You see, that's what it is. And then give more time to whatever that you find that you are. You see what I'm saying? So if we are spirits who came to create, to be creators, then create by all means. All nonsense, whatever. Consume yourself to oblivion. You see what I mean? But if we spirits who came to experience ourselves, and that self is so great that the ocean, which is 70 part of the creation of the earth, we have not known 15% of it yet. That's how big we are. That's how complex we are, and that's just water, part of our being. I don't know if you get what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much more to experience. So if we don't give ourselves time to enjoy and experience it, so why do you think Alzheimer and all of these things, whatever? Because we are creators. Of course, we don't need intelligence to create. You see what I'm saying? Because you can create and yet still have Alzheimer's. Why? Because you're not doing anything new. You see what I mean? This is who you are. You can do that on autopilot. How many of us are, as we sleep, ideas are coming through? We don't need to exist to be creators. But we need to exist to experience. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. So the thing is, like, really, are we wasting ourselves thinking we know ourselves? Or are we wasting ourselves not knowing who we are and what we are about? You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. That the talk of the day is supposed to be about self. If anyone cannot tell you who you are, what you're doing, whatever, not by showing who you are, but showing you how to see yourself, then it's not worthy of your time in reality. You see what I'm saying? Not worthy of mine, so what I want for me, I want for you. So that's why. But of course, before we can create a ripple effect of the same talk, we first have to speak. So that voice may echo into the fabric of the universe or into nature or something like that. You see what I mean? But in reality, somebody gotta say it. Somebody gotta, of course, everyone is worshiping the creators or whatever. That's what's gonna happen. But did we come here to be worshipped? Did we come here? That's why even nature now we're finding out nature don't need our worship. Nature don't even care about what you're talking about the worshipping nature. Fuck you, nigga. That's nature's state of mind right now. How about you know who you are and what you need to do so that you don't disturb me or something like that? You see what I mean? That's nature. Nature really don't care. Oh, please worship me. That's not nature. You see what I mean? Nature don't care about those type of things. Nature don't even care about caring. You see what I'm saying? Nature is not phased by the beings or whatever. So the thing is like basically this is the same and we are nature. It's the same with us. That part of us we seek the self-gratification, the worship and thing, it's because it's missing within. You see, it's something missing that we are trying to add. But is it truly missing? But is it only missing into our mind, into our thinking? That's why we seek that. You see, that's why most people who seek to be famous, now the best they want is to be left alone. You see what I'm saying? Do you get it? But at the same time, many continue to want to be. That's the repo of those who made it, created behind them. You see what I'm saying? And that's the repo the mad scientists created for those who came behind them. The mad scientists of today, myself and others that are creating amongst us. You see what I mean? But that creativity or whatever we think we need to do in the reality, make the world better by twerking on the outside but not the inside or whatever we are doing or something like that. So what it is just gonna be what? It's gonna be, it can only be stopped when we realize the conscious decision. Okay, this needs to stop. Conscious decision. Alright, that's not who we are. We fell from grace, for God's sake. You see what I mean? That we realize it, and then now you put your time toward better things. So that's why all the great creators, the creators of Facebook, the creators of whatever, all you will find them doing with the time is what? You may find them in a remote place on the mountain somewhere, on an island remotely away from all the chaos that they are creating around them, or something like this, and people are worshipping them for it, and then they can't help but seeing that people are stupid for that, or something like that, and then they run away from the creation or something like this because they can't help it. That's what happened before. That's what those before them had to do. That's what they're gonna have to do. You see what I'm saying? So once they do that, what do you find them doing? Going within themselves, meditating, and listening to no voice music, or if there's a voice, it has to be a voice that knows what it's saying, or something like this, and that serves them, you see, because they're not chasing anything anymore, except that they need to understand their own value now. You see what I'm saying? So now that's what you will find them doing. That's why when in the movies, in the shows, I remember on Netflix, on that show on Black Mirror, you will find someone like Zuckerberg or something like this, a young one that could depict Zuckerberg in that movie even, or something like this. When there's this man, one of his employees, you know, or something like this, of this great corporation who got bigger than he expected, just like Facebook and Zuckerberg and stuff like that. So now he ran onto the mountains away from society and stuff like that, which is what's gonna have to happen because those before him, that's what they had to do, or something like that. So now they had to try to find him so that they can let him know, because the one who's his employee, the only wish he wants, as he literally kidnap or abduct another bigger employee, also executive employee or something of his, and then he say, what do you want? When you kidnap someone, they ask you what you want, and they ask him what he wants. He say all he wants is to speak to the owner. I mean, like in Facebook case, it would be speak to Zuckerberg or something like that. So the thing is like, he's not available right now, blah, blah. Even the CEO of the company couldn't find the creator because the creator, run. He's just out. He said, okay, that's not what I expected. That's not what I created this for. But this is what it became. You see what I'm saying? That's what's going on with us. We're creating. We see a part of what we're creating, but the 99% of the rest of what it is, is yet to be seen. We can only know when it's done. And if it is not something we wanted, then it's too late now. It's already done. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we say. You see, that's why it takes, balls, of course, to speak what needs to be heard. But someone gotta do it, of course. You see what I mean? But do you see that I need to say what I'm saying right now or not? Whether you Zuckerberg, whether you Elon Musk, whether you are a spiritual leader, whether you are a physicist, whether you are a chemist, whether you are whatever the fuck we call ourselves right now, is it something that we need to hear or not? You see what I'm saying? So yes, we do need to hear that, because those great men. That's why I found myself identifying myself with the scientists more than the religious mindsets. Is because the reason that why I do identify with scientists is because I'm not that egoistic or to think that I'm always right. You see what I mean? That okay, believe or I cut your head off. That's not the way of science. You see what I'm saying? But that was the way of religion. You see? So the thing is, like, basically that's why I end up, feeling like it's not about what I say and what I'm afraid of society to be or whatever, but what I feel is more important. Do I feel more like the religious, like believe what are my words or I cut your fucking head off? Or do I be more a scientist when I'm dealing with people? Like, okay, I know that's what I believe now, but what do you believe? Do you believe what I'm saying? Do you trust it? Or what do you have to say? You see what I mean? That's the mind of the scientist. That's the way of a scientist. You see what I'm saying? So, but can the scientist become religious? Of course. Or can the religious one become scientific? Of course. You see, because it's not the one way or the other. Now it's whatever it is. It is. You see what I'm saying, guys? So, but it is important information that is on time. And of course, it's going to serve the time. You see what I mean? No one can never not need to hear those over and over and over. Unless you're retarded, of course, then that's not for you. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that basically is just, when by retarded, we don't mean the belittling, whatever. We mean retarded, you late again. You retard, you late again. You see, that's a choice to be late. You see what I mean? Whether conscious choice or subconscious choice. You see? It's a choice. You see? So you are late. We're just saying it for you. But it is what you make it. You see? We don't make it fit you. You choose to make it fit. You see? That's the thing. So the thing is like basically that's what it is. But it's just to show you it's all about love. You see? When you don't know what love is, then you think it's about how can I love? Like even I remember someone posted about, many people posted about love not being unconditional. But true love can only be unconditional. Because it's not from a place of lacking. You see, it doesn't lack anything. When you see love asking you, like the universe asks, like let's say nature. When the nature asks, I mean, okay, we can say ask, because it's the law that predates the beings or something like that. If nature say we turn the seeds so that we can continue to create abundance for you, or at least don't take it, just leave it in nature. Don't make it in the lab or whatever, so that we can go. So even if when you don't put it back in the earth and then you throw it in the trash and then turn it to garbage, allow it to rot, when you have the potential to create thousands more plants and fruits and whatever, then now at least don't touch it, take what you need and leave it, and then when it ripes and it falls, the fruits that it becomes dry out, and then allow the seed to fall out, and then also allow the earth to take it back and make of it what it needs to take. Without your help, you see, it can happen. You see what I'm saying? So when nature says that, it doesn't mean it needs from you. Just like love doesn't need from you. When it says to respect the 7 hermeneutical principles, I mean law of reciprocity in that case, it doesn't mean it needs you to do that. I mean, it wants you or needs you, but you have to do that. Why? Because you are a consumer. Of course, you need to return something. Not because he needs it from you, But if he cannot get it from you, then it doesn't need you. It's not that what you have to give that it needs, but it needs you to be who you are. Like someone who recycles. Because we are energy and energy recycles. You see what I mean? But if you're not in the way of recycling, then we don't need you. You see what I mean? It's not that you have what you offer. No, we don't need you all together with what you offer with it. You see what I'm saying? So that's where love comes from. It's not depending. You see? It doesn't depend on anything. Nature doesn't depend. But where you, let's say I take the time to give you my valuable self. I don't depend on you, though I do depend on you to do your due diligence. But I don't depend on you, except to the degree that you need to do what you need to do, which is recycling. Do your part. You see what I mean? That's all. It's not that they, of course, obviously, if you give silver and a chocolate bar to someone who doesn't know the right or the value of the silver, they're going to always end up taking the chocolate bar because they can see the value in the chocolate bar, but not the silver. You see what I'm saying? So what do you have to offer unless people see the value in it? Of course, you're not going to be able to turn it to anything yet until you turn the people listening into valuable beings so that they can learn to, I mean, not even learn, so that you can transform them into that spiral that can consume your energy that you are putting out and then just make of it and then return it, which is what they're going to do without thinking. You see, I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but it's plain what I'm saying. You see what I mean? So I need people to understand it's not a dependence. When you love, when you become love, you don't depend on people more than they depend on you. You see, nature, which is love, earth, anagram for earth, for heart, and where the frequency of love comes from, the chamber where God meets man, or something like that. Same thing. It doesn't need us to be abundant. It doesn't need us to have the money to go to the supermarket to create more trees or fruits. Please, don't be that retarded. You see what I mean? But if we here consuming it, then we might as well return the seeds for our own good. You feel me? This is love. This is vibrating to love. That's what it's about. But I know there's more to love than that. So, of course, we can never be done speaking about love. But until next time, we're going to leave you on this. You see? When toxicity comes your way, you see, be the alchemist. Sprinkle some love on that shit. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So thank you for listening. And we have taken enough of your time. So we thank anyone who made it to the live or something like that, or now on time, ahead of time, or those who will be behind time to experience this or something like this. We thank every one of you or something like that. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for listening. This is V Podcast from your brother V, or something like that, and VTV. Don't forget to share, and everyone needs to hear this more than I need to share it, or something like this. You see what I mean? So as you can see, it's not about only throwing dots at one or whatever, blah blah blah. You see what I mean? It's everyone. You see, have something here because we are everything. So of course we have to speak to everyone. You see what I mean? But it's not about hurting people's feeling, and this is why I love the mature ones, those that will pay you to tell them the truth, because they're no longer afraid of it. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. And then as you can see, I will tell what needs to be told, but of course using much discernment and using much wisdom as possible, because the goal is not to hurt anyone's feeling, but the goal is to make sure that our words don't come back void, because they don't come from a cheap place. You see what I'm saying? So until we transform our listeners and those that we are seeking to help, or something like this, or our world or whatever, then until then we will continue to speak. You see what I mean? Until then. And then when that time comes, I mean, yes, we have evolved, we have tasted that, then you will see the fruit of your labor. You see, but it's not taking away labor. You see? But I understand because the being is the goal now. You see? So what if someone wanted to be whatever, like a baker, or they enjoy that shit? You see what I mean? That's the thing. You see, like let the being choose, but allow all of the possibilities to be. But that's why don't seek to tame me and transform me into the all, but allow me to be the uniqueness, proving to you that it is okay in this life to be unique. You know what I mean? Because that's the ground for it. Each of us is not to become the gray, but to be that color that we are, fully. You see what I mean? But now, of course, we're gonna first misappropriate the being. You see, like I say, to be free, we're gonna think, okay, need to go out there, but let that be, because that's part of the healing. It's not gonna be beautiful. First, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna feel like, okay, I need to go outside naked and do that, and you know, kiss my ass or whatever. And then once you feel as stupid as you feel like it doesn't come back except stupidity back to you, because whatever you put out is what you get back. Then you're gonna have no choice but to be bigger, to vibrate higher, and understand freedom. Either to say, okay, freedom doesn't exist, you don't see the point for it, or you're gonna feel like, okay, freedom is to know, just like everything else, is to know your limits. That's freedom. To know your limits, but not to be given limits. You see what I'm saying? When you know your limits, freedom in life is not to be limitless, but to know your limits. To be limitless, also knowing your limits. You see what I mean? And then, or to be, or instead of being limitless and having to be limited. You see what I'm saying? By someone else. You see? Because once you cannot know and put your own boundaries, then of course our boundaries have to exist in order for life to exist. So now you're going to have to be bounded. You see? So that's freedom. That's why most may not understand it. That's why most may conclude that it doesn't exist. It's because it's not easy to understand. First, unless you're coming from compassion first. Because first it's to understand the power. Freedom belongs to God, not to demons. You see, when we say demons, it's not bad. We're saying it's a level of being. You see what I'm saying? So it's just it's something that you can transcend. You can become more than. You see, it's not just all human being can be. Don't be under that mistake. So the thing, we're just putting a term so that we can, explain it to the mind. Because the mind will not understand infinite or what are limitless without putting terms to everything. You see, that's the only reason we say that. But not to belittle it. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that basically is just when you say when the heart is where the demon or God meet man, the beast meets the God, self. So of course that now one gonna have to affect the other. Either the beast affect God and turn God into a beast, or God turns the beast into a God. You see, that's the yin and the yang. They merge and they come together as one. You see what I'm saying? So that's the meaning in the first place. You see, it's something gotta be exchanged. So when you're going into the heart now, so now of course that is everything beyond that gonna start from whatever the heart is based upon. Compassion, understanding. You see, that's why the world becoming one, before the world can clapping into each other, instead of the Christian community or fighting the Muslim community, or they can live together, or like it used to be the Italian community fighting the black community because they can't live together, thinking they're different or whatever, like that same nonsense and retardedness. So what's the point of repeating that again? You see, that's why you see with love, if you wanna go back, of course, you can always go back to the beast self and the retarded self. But yes, but you still have a choice once you're in the heart to go beyond. moving either from there and go back to the lower beings with that new being that is transformed by that God that you met in the heart, and therefore come back as a better being and allow a better foundation to ripple to the universe instead of that one you already made in time. You see what I'm saying? Of course you can go back. That's why it doesn't matter what you do. To go beyond, to go back, it's up to you. You see what I mean? But going back now, how you gonna come back? The same, or are you transformed by what you have met, which is your higher self in the heart? And now you became a better person to understand, to be that compassionate one, to get it, and thereby come back and be a better citizen of the world. You see what I'm saying? And so with all of us doing that work, then what else? The whole reality change, you see. Of course, it's gonna seem far-fetched to the lame mind or something, but once you can think it, you can make it. You see, this is where you are now on Earth. So let's say thank you for listening. Okay, we can just do that to you and not play a little something. So as we conclude, we wanna play a little something for a second. You see what I mean? So you can enjoy whatever from Vivi Alensi, our own sister, whom we cherish and love so dearly. You see, and we wish her the best on her journey, and she's doing the best to become that greater self or something like this. And we see that, and we're inspired by that. And this is why we love her music, and we think coming from the heart that it came from, so we can literally work wonder onto your own path. So enjoy Evolution Zero, enjoy freedom, and the name of the song I believe is So Good from Evolution Zero, singer Vivi Alensi. Wholeness.
Never thought this could feel so good. Now I see freedom inside of me. Freedom.
So beyond. You know what? Let me conclude. I recognize the live feed is very behind. So thank you. As we say, enjoy. Enjoy your Sunday and a beautiful weekend. Wholeness.